Okay, we got it. Welcome to
That
It's
was a
Erik
good pause
Nagel.
in the song.
Yes. For dramatic effect. Welcome to It's Erik Nagel. That is me. 866-969-1969 is the phone number to get in touch with the program. E-Rock Radio on Twitter and Instagram. You can get in touch with us social media-wise and many, many other ways. Just call the show.
Just do it.
Do that. Joining me always is my co-host, Matt O.G.
Hello.
How are you?
I am lovely. How about yourself?
Geek Stuff OG on the Twitter and Instagram, and my buddy Gittles.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Gittle Base on the Twitter and Instagram. What do you think of the new studio?
It's fancy studio is fancy. I
This
like
is
it.
pretty fucking awesome. I'll
It
say
looks like a planetarium.
Planetarium.
And
Yes.
it has more space, which I like.
Haha, space in the planetarium.
Oh,
Hey.
look at you.
Oh, you two didn't even high five on that one.
No.
We're sitting too close.
That would have been awkward.
No,
Yeah.
it's great. You know what? I'm going to move this away from the board.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Because
Don't
if you
ruin the
spilled
place.
that, I'd laugh.
Spilling things on the board is not my job here.
You like that character from that old Nickelodeon show? Remember that with like the security guard that was the mouse, and he'd always spill coffee?
Today's Special.
Yes, that horrible show.
Oh, God.
Sam
Today's Special.
Crenshaw.
Yes.
And the mouse was
The mouse was
Muffy.
a dick.
Muffy the Mouse.
I just remember the mannequin came to life.
Also
when
a
the store
Canadian
closed.
show was shot in Toronto.
A lot of those Nickelodeon shows are Canadian, weren't
Because they bought, it was called the Pinwheel Network.
Yeah.
And they bought Pinwheel and everything else from them.
Right.
Brought it to the United States as the Pinwheel Network and then switched it over to Nickelodeon. And they just absorbed anything that had to do with kids programming from Europe and Canada, just got absorbed into this network.
Good on them.
Right. So,
It sculpted our futures.
a lot to do on the show today. Probably not enough time to do everything, like always. Maybe that third hour is looking at us around the bend at some point.
Hopefully.
This summer, who knows? On the show today, Jim Kelly, famous
Yes.
NFL quarterback, and his daughter Erin. They have a book called Kelly Tough, hashtag Kelly Tough. They will be on the program today promoting that and some of their foundations and charities that they're all about. YouTube sensation and Sirius XM Hits 1 host Jenna Marbles.
Nice.
She will be calling in probably in about 15 minutes.
Look at Lewis. Lewis is so happy in there.
Lewis
He's
is
just
partying
dancing.
in the booth over
Anytime
there.
there's a
Having a
pretty
Lewis-
white girl, Lewis goes crazy.
Look at yep, he's not denying it.
So Jenna will be on the show in a little bit, and later in the program, this is exciting for me, the guys from Epic Rap Battles of History.
Yes.
So they will be here. We'll talk to them about all their stuff. They're brand new, I don't want to say new half season. It's kind of like what AMC does. They do a few episodes, and then they wait for a while, shoot the rest, and then do another.
Right.
This is the second half of season 4, which starts, I think the 25th is Monday, right?
Yes.
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 Let's go with that. Monday, the 25th, is when their new part of season 4 is going to take place. Plus, there's a tour and all this other stuff that they're going to talk about, and we'll get into that a little bit later.
You just blew my mind when you said there's seasons on YouTube shows. Like, I had no idea that there were seasons on YouTube shows.
Apparently, they started it
Oh,
because
wow.
nobody was doing it in a season format other than, like, look, the season format in the United States is different from what they do over in the UK. They do those 6-episode, 12-episode seasons, or they do
3.
half seasons. Then they started doing it here. Nobody was doing it on YouTube. They started to do it, and it actually worked out. Instead of shooting stuff for 22 weeks straight, they just do a little bit here, put it out, and their numbers went through the roof.
Yeah, it's smart.
Yeah, I think Felicia Day did it with the Guild too. I think that
okay.
was done in seasons, like 5 or 6 seasons of that show too. And that was, I think it started on YouTube and then eventually migrated elsewhere. But
Cool.
We had on Opie and Anthony a while ago while we were still at the XM facility on 57th. We had these people on. It was some web show that they were trying to bring to TV. Quarter. Nobody remembers. I think it's had Felicia Day in it. Quarter Life? God
are
damn
you
it.
talking about the Guild?
No, it's not the Guild. It was something else. It was some kind of YouTube thing that
It
they
wasn't
were
the
trying.
video game one.
Uh-uh.
Oh, okay.
No, it was some kind of YouTube show that they were trying to bring to television, and it didn't do well.
Okay. Did it actually come to television and then fail?
I think it's something with NBC. I'm gonna have to look it up and report back to you later.
Okay.
But I want to talk about that too, because making the transition from YouTube to television, huge step.
Of
Didn't
course.
work in that particular instant, but could be paving the way for other things to come.
Well, I think making the step from YouTube to network television is hard, but going from like YouTube to maybe like Spike, I think that's probably doable.
Oh,
in certain
definitely.
shows.
Do you have the phone mouse over there by any chance?
I have a
Phone
phone
mouse.
mouse that says call screener on it.
That might be it.
Ugh.
Thank you. I was
No
looking for
problem.
that. Otherwise, we couldn't talk to the lovely Jenna Marbles in a few minutes.
Oh, well, that would be bad.
Where do we want to go before? Oh, great.
Jeez.
Everything's falling
Eric, you're
apart.
breaking
Where do we
everything
want to go
off.
before
Jeez, this is
Jenna
what I'm
calls in?
Wherever you want to go, there's.
We could do Simon Pegg. Well, let's talk about Letterman real quick and then go into Simon
Yes,
Pegg.
let's talk about Letterman.
So this week was the last show for The Late Show with David Letterman. It ended on a Wednesday. And it was funny because I was in the office the other day and I hear Jay Thomas walking around here yelling, goes, who the hell retires on a Wednesday? And I was like, that's a good point.
Yeah,
Who
that's a very
does
good
retire on a Wednesday?
David fucking Letterman, that too.
Exactly. So he did
went
his
the
last
weekend
show. Foo Fighters was the musical guest. It was a night. They actually went 18 minutes long. So it was an hour and 18 minute.
That's why they got canceled.
Program because all the advertising that they missed out on. Did the whole show and it wasn't. There was a lot of montage, a lot of build up, but his send off kind of I don't think had the impact like when Johnny Carson ended. Like when he was just sitting there in the center of the stage on a stool saying, I bid you a heartfelt goodnight to America. There was some kind of like big emotional impact with that. It became one of those historical marks in television. Letterman ending the way he did was nice. I don't think it really, there was no like oomph to it. You know, there was nothing that really got to you that the fact that he was leaving.
I think that's partially because of the culture of television now. I think when Carson ended, Carson was it, right, for late night TV. Like that was what everybody watched. Now with late night TV, you have Letterman, you had Fallon, right? And then in addition to that, you also have whatever's on AMC, whatever's on HBO, whatever's on...
Yeah, and you have the internet, and you can just go on YouTube and watch old clips. Like when Carson ended, it was like that was it. Like they didn't have VHSs of the Carson shows. You couldn't just go back and watch it.
So I kind of feel like with the fragmented audience and just the way that television works, it has less of an impact when someone like that goes.
I guess. And you know what? It's
historic.
Carson ending was, the ending of an era for a lot of people in this country. And Letterman also is for the younger generation. But because everything, like you said, is so fractured, I don't think it had... I don't know, maybe the respect it deserves for what he did and that he was going out. A lot of the news, it made the news and all the rounds through, those little entertainment programs and things like that. He was everywhere, all this stuff going on. But when it did finally end, it was like a lot of the young people in this country are like, I don't care.
Right.
And it was probably that weird line now that the millennial stuff just doesn't give a shit about anything that happened before they were born, and people like you and me who I watched late night growing up as a kid meant a lot. And so when he left, it was like, well, that's a big part of my life that's now ending.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's for me, like I remember growing up on Letterman, right? That was the show that I watched. But at some point in time, even I just stopped watching late night television on a regular basis. And so for me, the impact is like I have this weird nostalgia from, again, being a kid. But even for me, the impact isn't huge because it's kind of like, well, I haven't really watched Letterman regularly in years. So yeah, I'm going to miss the idea of Letterman being there, but actually missing the show. Nah, it's a blip on my radar, but that's about it.
Yeah. Well, this leads me to the New York Post article that I saw yesterday, where they had photos. They quickly started gutting the Ed Sullivan Theater.
Everything.
And it wasn't discreet. They showed all.
What did you steal, Eric?
I didn't get a chance to go over there because I wasn't in the city yesterday. It wasn't discreet. They had all the stuff that I guess really meant something to the show being wrapped up and cared for and loaded into trucks. The article was saying that some stuff's going to Letterman, some stuff's going to Paul Schaefer, some stuff I guess is going to some museums that they didn't specify where that stuff is going.
The Smithsonian, probably.
A museum of moving image or something.
Then there were parts of the stage that they didn't wrap up. For example, they brought out the big Brooklyn Bridge that was behind his desk there. They laid it down half on the curb, and there's just photos of a demolition guy stomping on it with his boot and smashing it in half so they could fold it and throw it into the dumpster.
Don't you feel like there was some sort of weird missed opportunity with this stuff that they got rid of? Like they probably could have auctioned it off and given the proceeds to a charity
that was the
or
thing.
something?
In the article also said that maybe because they were ripping out the seats and he had these big blue tiles for the stage. So they were ripping those out and just chucking them. And then the seats they were ripping out and throwing into the dumpsters and the trucks and what have you. And the article was stating, it's like, this could have been like when Shea Stadium closed down, or when they gutted the old Yankee Stadium to make the new Yankee Stadium. Cut these things into 1 and 2 sections, sell them, auction them off to have in your home as part of the Ed Sullivan Theater. Didn't do that.
Yeah, I really, that's weird to me. Like, I kind of feel like in this day and age, like, that's the thing to do. And the fact that they chose, I mean, maybe there's a reason behind it, but it seems like a missed opportunity.
Well, to me, it's like I saw it and I felt like it's like what happens if you die at Disneyland. They just kind of hose off the ride and get it ready for the next person to come in, and that's just how it felt to me.
Letterman's gone. Bring in Colbert.
Exactly. Like, hose it down. We got to get it ready for the new guy.
But it just seems
we got old guys thinking here. It just
seems a bit insensitive. You know, the show just ended, and the next day everything's being destroyed in the street like you're moving, and you just don't want to bring the crappy furniture with you.
The movers should have dressed up like Godzilla and just smashed it.
I mean, did Letterman go out on a sour note with the network, maybe? And this was kind of almost as like a public display of fuck you-ness?
I don't know if he went out on a sour note. I mean, I don't know if they were happy based on the stuff that happened to him like a year or two ago involving the inappropriate relationships with some of the staff members and all that. Right. So maybe they were just, CBS was letting him, you know, go off into the sunset and then quickly scrub it down, get the stank off him, you know?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, yeah. I don't know.
Well, anyway, point was that I thought it was just, they weren't discreet about where they were throwing everything out on the street. They were smashing it up. It just seemed a little bit insensitive. But then I was also mad because, like Gittles said, I didn't get a chance to go over there and take all I could.
Well, maybe that's why they ended on a Wednesday, because Thursday's the recyclable pickup, and they just wanted to make sure that the garbage man would be able to pick it all up.
So they didn't have to pay for the dumpster fees.
Exactly.
Ah, smart.
I was there this morning.
Did you get anything
Paul
good?
was there.
A friend of mine was there, and he got a sheet of the staff's list of their top 10 that they were throwing out in the garbage.
I got a seat cushion.
Fuck yeah.
Nice.
And they were throwing, the guys who were demolitioning were throwing out bouncy balls all over the road, throwing them at trucks and cars, too.
Jesus. That sounds dangerous.
Where's the seat? Do you have it?
It's in the back office. You want me to go grab it?
Can you go grab it?
Yeah, I'll be right back.
Yeah, go grab it and bring it in here.
I want to see this.
That's kind of awesome.
Seat cushion filled
It could be anything. It could just be from a crashed plane.
I was tweeting out some Letterman stuff from my life the night before, and one of the things I tweeted out was that when I was working at the WPLJ, the afternoon show, Rocky Allen and the Rocky Allen Showgram used to do some charity benefits once a year from the Ed Sullivan Theater. They would set up the stage and everything right there in Letterman's Theater because he was on vacation. And the first year we did, it was 97. And the stagehands just said, as long as we didn't touch the set, you could do whatever you want. Okay. So I'm walking around. I find this big stack of cue cards in the back, and I just took a bunch of them. And they were... The ones I put up there were the ones where they had Steven Spielberg on the show. So I'm like, oh, that's awesome. I just took the whole set and put them right there. I still have them. I don't know what to do with them.
Frame them.
I should, maybe, but they're nice. The Morning Mashup was on Letterman a couple of years ago, and they have theirs framed over in the Mashup office there.
Very cool.
Paul just brought in the seat.
I mean, that looks like a seat cushion.
This could have been from any movie theater.
That could have been from anything.
Paul could have went over to the Ziegfeld and just popped this off.
Now,
how much do I have to pay to sit on it?
No, I said 30 years of butt set.
Oh man, that's a lot of butt.
It's filled
smell.
with beer farts. Did you take a photo of yourself taking it like as a certificate of authenticity, like you grabbing it out of the garbage can? That's how you
No, I took a
document
picture of the dumpster though.
Nice, that's close enough.
Fair
You guys
enough.
can have it if you want.
The dumpster, the dumpster pic.
No,
You
can have
should
my
have taken a
cushion.
photo or had somebody take a photo of you where you're like sort of a little bit further down the sidewalk so you have the marquee behind you and you hold it up like you just won a trophy or something. Like, I stole this.
Proudly showing off your trophy and your wares.
Right.
Like a big game hunter.
I'm going to take a photo of that and then put it up on the Twitter in just a minute here. I can't see the names on the phones, but we'll go at this blind here. Hello, 219.
Hey, Erik, how you doing?
Hey, what's your name?
Tom.
Hey, Tom, how are you?
Good. I'm in Chicago. You guys are doing a great job in the morning, and your show is very... I'm digging it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cool.
Very good. Hey, maybe he bailed on Wednesday. He's heavily invested in Indy cars,
Right.
Letterman, so maybe,
Is there something going on this weekend?
the Indy 500.
Oh, okay.
So yes.
Maybe that's why.
Yeah, that's just a thought, him and Bobby Rahal, they got two cars in the field, so just a possibility.
That's what it is. It's what Gittles said. He wanted the long weekend, and there's a race going on. Good for him.
Yep.
All right. Well, I guess that answers it. Thank you so much, man.
All right, buddy. Great show.
All right. I think Jenna is on the phone, so we'll get to her in 1 second. They're taking care of her in the back. Once we're done with Jenna, I'll see if we have some time to come back. I want to get into the Simon Pegg article.
Sure.
I kind of agree with him. If you're not familiar with what this is, he thinks that everybody getting into sci-fi and fantasy and all this stuff has caused this country to regress into being kids your entire life.
I'm fine with that.
He kind of issued.
I'm fine with it, but I do agree with what he's saying. I'm not arguing with the guy.
He kind of issued a statement after that. He wrote this long post on his website where he kind of explains it a little bit. But we'll talk about it.
All right,
we'll talk about it.
I think Jenna's on hold here, so let's get to her. Jenna Marbles.
Hey guys, how's it going?
How are you?
How's it going?
Hello.
I'm great. Thanks for having me on the show.
Welcome to the program here, and you're no stranger to SiriusXM as you do the YouTube 15 on Hits 1.
I do. We're family.
Yes, I think her show just ended as we started.
It did, yeah.
All right. Jenna, I wanted to talk to you because when they brought you on board with SiriusXM and especially with Hits 1, to be honest, I was a little confused. I'm like, I didn't see how this works, like, because Jenna is a big YouTube star, how this was translating to what Hits 1 does. But getting a chance to hear what you do and hear that hour, you're not really playing anything that's normally on that channel, which I like, because I like Hits 1, but she goes into some weird directions with the music that she plays. She's a big fan of Korean pop music, which is kind of cool.
Nice.
But I've seen, listened to the show week after week, that I'm starting to get now what you're doing here, and it's an awesome show.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it. And I agree. I was in the same boat. I'm like, you guys, is this a serious thing? You guys really want to have a radio show about internet music? Because that could go south really quickly.
I like how Jenna's saying that they forced her to do this.
No, not at all. I was like more than happy and so excited. And it's been about a year now, and I've just been like over the moon. It's a really fun, awesome, high energy show, and we get to play stuff that you would never usually hear on the radio, which is fantastic.
Just letting you know, your boss Mikey Piff is here, so let's not get out of hand.
No, it's fine.
Mikey!
No, we're cool. We're besties now.
Nice.
Aw.
You know, we keep each other in line.
Jenna, I got to ask, going through, we're going to talk about your videos and the worldwide fascination about what it is that you do. How did you get started with this? Because you were just throwing random videos of you, I guess, being you, or are you kind of amped up on these videos?
Well, I mean, I'm definitely amped up a little bit. There's a time and a place. Like when people meet me, they're like, "Oh, you're a calm, normal person," and not like just standing and swearing at me nonstop. Of course not. Like, you're a little bit more exaggerated in your videos. But I got started by just like sort of uploading things. I didn't really know that YouTube was a community, that people could watch it or find it or anything like that. So it was kind of by accident. And I mean, no regrets. It's been pretty sweet.
From the first video that you put out there, you started doing this, what, 2011?
Yeah, around 2010, 2011, somewhere around there.
So the first video you put out, it does okay, and you're doing okay for a while. What was it that popped that all of a sudden the internet was all over everything you were doing?
It was a video called "How to Trick People into Thinking You're Good Looking," and it was, it was a viral video, and I had to like call my parents and tell them what was happening. I'm very much a product of that happening. It wasn't like a slow climb. It sort of was like all of a sudden people like wanted to watch my videos, I guess.
Well, pretty blonde girl doing stupid stuff and using voices and talking about these subjects that you wouldn't expect her to be talking about. Of course, everyone's going to go, "Look, I'm fascinated with this girl." Every Wednesday she puts out something that she could be batshit crazy. I don't know, but I'm enthralled and I can't stop watching this.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's happening either. So,
Jenna Marbles on the YouTube there. Your Twitter is Jenna_Marbles. Who has Jenna Marbles?
I'm not sure, but there's always someone that, like, somebody has JennaMarbles.com, somebody has my Twitter, like, somebody always has everything. And they'll be like, "Oh, I'll sell it to you." And I'm like, "No, I don't really care."
Well, I think you're at a point now where you could, talk with YouTube and maybe their lawyers can kind of lean in and say, "You're going to give up this Twitter account."
Yeah, but who cares? I've met some of the ones that run like parody accounts, and they're great, and they're mostly like 14-year-old boys, and they crush it, so they can have it.
I wanted to bring in our producer, Lewis. Lewis is also somebody who seems to be, until recently we found out, very fascinated with Jenna Marbles. And he wanted to ask you a question or two if you're okay with that. Lewis?
Yeah, sure.
Hey, Jenna, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. I just wanted to know, how do you know guys so well? It seems like when you're explaining things for both sexes, you know what guys do very well, whether it be in the shower or in cars. Like, how do you know all that? Do you have like 16 brothers? Like,
I have one brother, and I've also, like, the majority of people that I've lived with have been guys. So I've had a lot of guy roommates, boyfriends, that sort of thing. And yeah, I just know.
Just kind of picked up on it.
Just pick up on all of it.
That's awesome. I love the dogs in your video, by the way. All your dogs are awesome.
Thank you.
Do people treat your dogs like celebrities when they see them?
Yeah, that's the only reason that anyone ever watches any of my channels.
Do you love the dogs, or do you love the fact that she puts the dogs under her shirts every time she's doing a video?
No, I love the dogs in general. The one that looks like Dobby from Harry Potter.
He does.
He does.
And
He's
Mr.
awesome.
Burns, yeah, and Snoop Dogg, too. That's him.
Jenna, with the YouTube 15 and in your regular YouTube channel, which, by the way, is it true you're ranked number 7 overall of YouTube?
I mean, once you get past all of the, like, YouTube Spotlight, YouTube Sports, all of that stuff, I think I might be around there in the realm of somewhere, there of people, like YouTubers that run their channel. Yeah, somewhere.
That's an amazing feat to have any kind of channel that people are paying any kind of interest into.
Well, thank you. I try.
I just hurt her feelings.
Way to go, Erik.
If you haven't seen some of the stuff she does, check out, obviously, the YouTube 15 on Hits 1, but to get an idea of what Jenna does, she does a whole series of what guys don't understand about girls and what girls don't understand about guys. And you'd think, all right, she's probably got 1 or 2 videos for each side there. But she keeps generating more stuff, and you're watching this and it's like, holy shit, I do half this stuff, and I don't even realize it.
Well, me and Matt were watching the one before where it was like explaining guys' facial hair, and we both have beards, and it got kind of awkward, and we had to turn it off.
It's like, oh, she's going to get to us soon.
She's going to get to us. We better hurry up and turn this off before it gets accurate.
Yeah, I like doing those because they're fun. You're like, son, this here is your penis. That's what a goatee means.
When did you start realizing that you could make money and a career out of this?
That was sort of an accident. Around like 2007 or whatever is when people, I think, started monetizing on YouTube. But it was kind of like a little bit of a hush-hush, like, secret that people were making money. And by the time I started, people did know, but I still didn't know. And I literally clicked a box that was like, would you like to apply for revenue sharing? And I was like, yeah, sure, why not? And then it wound up being more money than I was making at my job at the time. So,
what were you doing?
Well, I was working for a blog called Barstool Sports in Boston.
I know Barstool.
And,
they're a small operation.
Heard of them.
I was a bartender and a go-go dancer, and I worked at a tanning salon. So, all the adult things.
So, all right, so now this comes around, your channel's blowing up, the videos are blowing up, and there's rarely a time where you're not getting at least, and this is lowball, at least 1 million views per week on everything that you're putting out there. How do you tell this to your parents that I'm not working a regular job anymore because I do these little videos and they pay me a ton of money?
My mom got it right away, but for my dad, like, my dad's a chemist, my brother's a material science engineer. Like, I come from a family of very math science oriented people, and it was a little bit difficult to explain to them what was happening and that, I'm okay. I have a roof over my head and, I'm making money. Everything's going to be fine. But it was a little bit of a complicated process to explain to them just exactly how everything worked.
How did you get your boyfriend into this? Because this, I mean, guys like us would understand, the importance of everything going on in the internet and whatnot. But there's a lot of guys out there who, especially maybe read Barstool Sports or something like that, they're looking at, she's always got that damn camera on. She's playing with the dog. She's writing these weird notes that I can't understand, and she's making voices in the other room. I don't get this. How did you get him on board to? Because he's part of some of the things that you're doing now.
Yeah, for sure. Honestly, I think this is true of most people that work on the internet. Like, when you're friends and everyone sees, like, just how cool it is to have, like, an interaction with people and do stuff on the internet, it's sort of, like, contagious, and they want to just try it. And I think that's what happens with him. That's what happens with, many people that I know. The people around you are just like, oh, I'd love to do that too. That looks fun. And it is fun. And it's really awesome. So you got nothing to lose unless you're making really like racist or offensive videos, just be a normal person. And it's pretty rewarding and fun.
Jenna does that under another name, under another channel, but she's wearing a mask.
Jenna lost her marbles.
Lewis?
Do you have any favorite YouTube channels that you watch other than your own?
I love Ryan Higa. He's pretty OG YouTube. And there was a channel called Magic Hugs that I was obsessed with that made really ridiculous, like, short skits. And I think they stopped, but they were hysterical. But, yeah, I mean, I watch pretty much everything. I watch it more than TV, so.
That's awesome.
I want to ask you about the popularity of your channel getting to the point where you're now doing appearances and things like that. You just did, Ditch Day in Las Vegas?
Yeah, Ditch Fridays at the Palm.
Ditch Fridays in Las Vegas, and that was a huge crowd. Then you were also part of the YouTube Fan Fest.
Yes.
What is that experience like, going from where you're just sitting with your laptop, in your car or in your living room making these little videos, and all of a sudden now you're appearing in front of like 10, 15,000 people?
Yeah, it's literally insane. And, I think a lot of like traditional media and all these people sort of forget that when we do this stuff, it's, many people may watch it, but it feels very much like we're alone because we are alone in our houses. So to be like sort of thrust in front of enormous crowds is definitely not natural. And I wouldn't say that I've honed any of those skills whatsoever, but it's really bizarre to actually see people in person and have like a human connection. It's really powerful, but it is not natural, I think, for many people that are introverts and start YouTube channels.
Yeah.
You've had a lot of success with this stuff. You're doing these fan festivals and what have you. Got to ask you about the other side of the coin here, where what's the hate like that you get as far as what you do, the stuff on the radio, your videos, and you just pretty much being you. I imagine because it's the internet, nobody gets away, scot-free on these things. What kind of hate generates on the other side? That's it's usually just pointless and unmerited, but I imagine you get a lot of that too.
Yeah, for sure. And it's to be expected. You have to sort of have a thick skin about it or else you go crazy. The only thing that I like to remember is that, like, I'm putting myself out there. You're opening yourself up to criticism, but to be mindful that other people around you aren't willing to put yourself out there. So, like, I won't be putting my family in things unless they're really okay with it. And, just not to let any of it go too much to your head, because then you would stop, you'd shut off your computer, and that's no fun.
How early into your run here did you start seeing people attacking you? Like, was it for something that just was completely made up, or was it just because there was a pretty girl who was doing a video that had a lot of popularity?
Yeah, it's instant. You get half and half, and at least when you're starting, it's not just a bunch of people being really excited about it. It's, people are angry, people are upset, they don't like you, and it is what it is. But, just keep trucking. That's what I'm doing.
I also want to make a retraction, because I was just thinking about something that I said. I was not trying to be condescending or put it down when I said little videos. I was just saying in the scheme of things, anything she puts out dwarfs at least, the It's Our Nagel channel on YouTube is not doing anywhere near the numbers that she does. But anything she puts out pretty much becomes like an instant hit as far as advertisers and viewers and all those things like that. So saying that these are little videos was definitely the wrong thing to say. These are a big deal. One of the weirdest things that I saw, and it wasn't YouTube based, was you put out this weird catchy song. All she sang about was glue for some reason.
Yeah.
And everything tied into glue. And I started seeing this on like the sides of entertainment sites that don't usually post stuff that Jenna is on, but this weird catchy song started appearing all over the place. How did, was this just something that you had in your head and you said, I'm going to make a song out of it, or was this something that you planned?
Okay, I don't know how to explain this. I know a lot of people, think of me as someone that talks about, like, genders and things like that. But I'm a very bizarre person for the most part. And so whenever I make a video like that, I know that people are going to, for the most part, really, really hate it. They don't like it. It makes no sense because it doesn't make any sense. And it's not even that funny. It's just strange. And so every once in a while, I'd say every couple months or so, I just put out something that's like the most ridiculous thing I could possibly make, and then it makes me feel better. So that's what I did. I got the word glue stuck in my head, and then I turned everyone into glue.
She's got the outlet where we've all been walking around and you get that dumb little phrase or a little riff in your head that you made up and you're like, that doesn't mean anything. And if she just took it and goes, I can make a song out of that. And guess what? 10 million people just watched it and she made a boatload of money.
But Erik, you should kind of understand this. You do a show every Friday night where you get to come in here and just whatever is bothering you for that week.
Right.
Or that you could just talk about The Simpsons for 2 hours and get it out of your system.
But that's more of a conversation. Sometimes it's therapeutics, those kind of things.
But
if I was walking around and just singing some dumb little song in my head, I don't have that instant availability where I can go and make the song, put it out there, and if I did, nobody's going to pay attention to a song that I'm singing about, but if Jenna does it, everybody in the world knows about it.
And Jenna, I just want to say, he didn't mean dumb little song.
No, my song, not her song.
He meant,
not her song, my song.
The dumbest song ever.
The what?
It's literally the dumbest song ever. I'm not offended by that.
I was just busting Eric's chops. That's all.
You know what? Because we're going to play this song now. When we come back, we'll play the song, and then you're going to be singing "Everything Is Glue" all the way home tonight, and then you're going to be like, "Damn it, I got that song stuck in my head."
I'm in the car with you, so you're in for a treat.
Yes. Jenna, thank you so much for taking the time and for coming on here. It's been a real pleasure. Lewis, did you have anything else you wanted to say to your love, Jenna?
Jen, I know you get a plaque after 1 million views on YouTube, but what happens after that? Like, are you just constantly getting plaques every 1 million views? Like, how does that work?
No, you get a plaque for having 1 million subscribers, but I don't think they do it every million, so I have one, but it's really heavy and I can't hang it up.
Oh.
But, I mean, yeah, I don't know. They owe me 14 more or something.
Because that would be great if that's what they were doing, that if she did a video and they're just stacked up on the kitchen tables. And look, I've got too many of these things. I don't know what to do. We use them as placemats.
Best coasters ever.
I know. Well, I think the play buttons are made out of gold, so I would really like if they could send me some more, so then someday when I'm poor, I can just pawn them off.
Nice.
That's the way to do it.
That's the way you do it.
And actually, that was one thing she said that most everyone missed. She just passed 15 million subscribers on her channel.
Oh, I didn't miss that.
Yeah, no,
I heard that and just was just very upset for myself.
your penis shriveled, and you're like, ah.
Well, no, it's just weird because I work in television, and sometimes I work on shows that we're lucky if 1 million people watch. And you go on YouTube, you could put a video out there and like millions of people watch it. It's kind of crazy. It's such a changing dynamic. But congratulations on your success. I'm not trying to knock it at all. It's just it's mind-boggling to me.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate it. And it's mind-boggling for me, too. So we're all in the same boat.
Yay, boats.
Well, Jenna, if you're ever in New York and you're coming up to do your Hits 1 show or something like that, we would love to have you come into the studio live.
Yeah, it's awesome. Thanks for having me, guys. Really appreciate it.
The show is YouTube 15. It's on SiriusXM Hits 1, 6 p.m. Eastern and Pacific because it replays on Fridays and then Saturdays at 2 p.m. and Sunday at 8 a.m. JennaMarblesBlog.com is the website, but the most important part is the YouTube channel, which is Jenna Marbles on YouTube and then Jenna_Marbles on Twitter.
Correct. Thanks, guys.
Jenna, thank you so much. We're going to actually go to break with a piece that you did with some other friends of ours from the epic rap battles of history. You played Eve in Adam vs. Eve.
Oh, they're the best. I love them.
They're going to be on the show in a little bit. Nice Peter will be here to talk about the brand new half season for season 4 of Epic Rap Battles of History. But I want to go to break with the piece that she did with Epic Rap Battles, guys. Adam vs. Eve. We're going to play that to break. Jenna, thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
Take care.
You.
Bye.
I guess play it. Paul?
He's trying.
It's become unglued.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Is it not playing?
Eric, start singing that ditty in your head. It's going to be the next big song.
He said it froze up.
Oh, damn. Can you at least go to break?
Oh, jeez. Sorry, folks. You have to listen to us talk.
Not everything worked out here.
Well, look.
Paul, can we go to break?
We need that horn.
He's trying.
Right?
I could see him. He's furiously working back there.
Is nothing working?
He's got
great.
focus face on. It's impressive.
Oh, boy.
I think it might be time for the ham horn then.
Oh, yes.
There it is.
Jenna Marbles.
Paul gets the fail of the week.
Let's do it up. Feed. Now, it's Erik Nagel.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome to the show right now. This is an amazing story to go through. The book is called Kelly Tough. Please welcome to the show Erin Kelly, Jim Kelly, maybe Jill Kelly, if she wants to come to us as well. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing great. Yeah, as a matter of fact, we're having a great day.
The book here, I got to tell you, I read through. I was just finishing up the appendix parts about the Hunter's Foundation and everything, which we'll get to in a little bit here. I can't imagine, just being the person reading this, how emotional this was. The turmoil and the emotional grief that you had to put this together with the photos, with the stories. And how long did it take you to put all this together?
It took about a year to put it all together. We actually started last summer just talking about writing a book and putting my heart really on paper. That's really what this book is my heart on paper. And it was a struggle to write it because it was as if I was reliving the moments all over again. And just to be able to share deep moments with the world is definitely hard, but at the same time, it's so rewarding to know that our struggle can be an encouragement to someone else.
Did you have any resistance from the family when you started putting this project together? Like, I don't really know if we should put our family's details out there like this.
Absolutely, everyone was completely on board, but there were times when at the beginning of my dad's treatments and everything that we were hesitant to share things, especially on social media, just because we knew that we could get some negative feedback from people, which we did. But at the same time, once we started putting things on social media, once we started sharing our story, we realized what an impact it was having, not only on other people, but on us. People were such an encouragement, letting us know that they were praying for us and just supporting us was incredible. And it definitely had an impact on my dad and everything that he was going through.
Right. Your family, for those who don't know about this book here, your family has had to deal with, I don't want to say cancer because it's too broad, but different degrees of cancer there, both with your brother, with your father. Can you tell us a little bit about Hunter's situation? Because when I was reading the book, I never heard of the disease that he had here, but it turns out it's pretty common in newborns and whatnot.
He had Krabbe disease, and he was diagnosed when he was very young, and we were told that he would not live to see his second birthday. And so that was extremely hard, and he was never able to eat or talk or walk on his own, and he was completely disabled. And so but he ended up living to be 8.5 years old. But we learned so much through watching him struggle and through his sickness. And although there was death surrounding that situation, we were told he wasn't going to live, there was so much life that he radiated. And we really started treating Hunter as if he was living, because he was every single day, and he lived to be 8.5 years old. And that's incredible considering what the doctors told us was the diagnosis. And so this Kelly Tough thing really started through watching Hunter struggle and seeing God's strength displayed in his frail body.
And it's great that you did treat it that way, because more people than not would take it as, we don't know how much time he has left, and keep treating it like the end is coming the next day, instead of just, well, let's live your life and go till the very end there and try to be positive and strong for him.
Right, absolutely. And after watching him go through that, and after just living life with him, it really taught us to live fearlessly in every moment. And I took that into watching my dad go through cancer and wanting to live every moment with him, not knowing what the next day would hold, not knowing if he would still be here tomorrow or the next day. And so just cherishing every moment.
Jim, if I can call you Jim, or Mr. Kelly.
No, Jim is definitely fine.
And you've been through your fair share of stuff too, with different kinds of cancer, with your jaw and with MRSA and everything. And you've plowed through it and came back. Then there was a story that, it went away, and then it came back. Oh, then it went away, and then it went away again. And you've just been kicking this thing's ass since you found out that you had it here. There was something in the book that I found not disturbing, but I couldn't relate to it. There was a chapter called "I'm Not Afraid to Die," and the fact that you had said this and that she got upset. Where do you find that kind of, I guess, solace? Where do you come to that conclusion where you feel that it's okay at that stage?
Well, when you are at your lowest, and how that makes you feel, but understanding that there's so many people that are around you, that you are an inspiration, and for me, I don't know what tomorrow holds. Nobody does. Right. And I knew the fight that I had in me, and I know how I've lived my life. I knew that, we all make mistakes, but I knew how I was blessed to be a professional athlete, how I was blessed to have a beautiful family, a beautiful wife, a son. And there were those ups and downs, but I also know where I'm at now with my life, with my faith, that I know that if tomorrow is the day that I go, well, at least I know one thing, that I will see my son. And I can't wait for that day because I have a lot more things wait. I have a lot more things to do, right, Erin?
Yes.
And number one's walk her down the aisle, but not yet. We still got time. She's still young. She just turned 20. But the thing is, for me, is, in the past, I might not have said that, but I know where my faith is. I know what my heart feels like. I know what I've accomplished in my life. I know that I've been an influence on people, but I want people out there to understand that, through my fight, and through what I went through, and to hear from everybody how much of an influence they've been on my life, how I want to continue to fight, and how I will never, ever give up. And also to know that the girls that I've raised and the wife I'm married to, how I've been blessed, and I'm having fun now. I'm enjoying my life. And even though I enjoyed my life before, it was a different type of an enjoyment. But also I had more fun in my life than most people can say they can have in 5 lives. I mean, I really did. I mean, I went through some good times. I've been through some bad times, but I was brought up in a family of 6 boys to never give up on anything I've ever done. And I never will. And now I hopefully, through what I've been through, that teaches my 2 daughters about life, that sometimes, no, it's not fair, but there are reasons for everything. And I know now why I've been a chosen father with a special little boy named Hunter, that we can make a difference for others out there. And we have. And I'm just happy that I'm able to share in this moment of my daughter writing this book called Kelly Tough, and how she journaled a lot of the things that she went through as a young kid, and as how I brought her up to be strong, to be tough, and how she thought she was losing both her men in her life, her brother that she lost, and now am I going to lose my dad? And now how she had to stay strong, not only for herself, and not only for me, but her little sister. How she had to keep my wife, her mother, strong through all this, and how she is growing as a young kid and understanding that we all are going to go through things, but it's what you do about it's what counts. And she's one strong lady.
You mentioned something with faith, and that's a big theme throughout the book. A lot of putting your hands in God and all that stuff. Were you always religious? Did you always have this? Or where do you find God in these times of awfulness?
It started with Hunter and watching him struggle through Crabbe, and seeing my mom and grandma and how they sought after God in the midst of Hunter's suffering. And it really was Hunter's suffering that allowed us to look to the strength of God. And there was really nowhere else to go. And when you come to that place where you have nowhere else to go, we were looking to God's strength because we needed him. We needed something that would give us hope in the midst of it. And so I took that faith and just ran hard after God. And then watching my dad go through cancer, completely turned to God and said, Lord, I don't know what you have planned for tomorrow. I don't know what this future holds. I don't know if my dad's going to make it through cancer, but I'm willing to trust you in the midst of it.
I just find it fascinating that you were strong enough to do that, where most people in that situation with your brother and then later on with your father would probably at that point be like, I've had enough of God, or I'm not believing in this stuff because all this keeps happening, and you did the exact opposite.
Right. And through Kelly Tough, I really want to encourage people that in the midst of whatever you're going through, because we all have our own stories, right. Everyone has their own story of struggle, that in the midst of that you can turn to the strength of God in the midst of your weakness. And really, I want to encourage people to live a courageous and fearless life, and to just turn to the strength of God when you can't go on your own.
Right. There was another chapter that I actually had a question about forgiveness and the haters. And reading this chapter here, and I just got to ask, because I really didn't want to get into too much of the football stuff, but it's kind of hard not to with your father being who he is. But I imagine that for those who don't know who Jim Kelly is, Hall of Famer, football player, Super Bowls 91 through 94, going through 4 straight Super Bowls and having lost. And I can imagine, if I can remember right, a lot of resentment from people in Buffalo that you got there, but you didn't win. Did some of that dumbass sports nonsense, is that what transferred over for when he was going through this and you were getting that text message when you were saying, I hope your father dies like that? Was it still just that dumb resentment, or was this something more personal that people were getting mad at him about?
I really don't know. And that was the thing about that tweet that my younger sister and I received. And we just were in complete shock that anyone would have the hatred in their heart to say that to us.
How old were you when you got that?
It was just last year when he was going through his treatments and everything. And it was in the midst of a really tough battle with his treatments and everything. And he just wasn't doing good at all. And so to receive that tweet from someone really took a toll on us.
And you didn't know the person.
No,
right?
We had no idea who they were. And so we really didn't have any clue why someone would say anything like that.
And we were doing an interview before this, and I said, thank God she wasn't around when I was playing.
Well, that's
she
what
wouldn't
I
have liked a lot of things that were said. But you know what? It's part of life, and my daughters understand in professional sports, there are going to be good days, there are going to be bad days. There are going to be some things that say good about you. There are going to be some things say bad about you. And the thing is, she is strong enough, even though those things do hurt. That was one of so many other people. But the thing is, it's being able to make a difference for people. And through this book and through my life, and even though there are people that probably still don't like myself, but the thing is, that's part of grown-ups, part of the social media that we go through in today's society with people, sometimes the old saying, cliche is negative people got to be heard.
Right.
And I guess if that made that guy feel a little better, God bless him, man. And we'll continue to pray for him.
That's what puzzled me. I mean, with all the stuff, because it wasn't unknown what your dad was going through. It was in all the papers, ESPN and everything, which I can't imagine it was easy on you being a public figure going through something that personal and something that horrific. And to get something like that, it's just like there's a line between sports fanaticism and all that stuff and what is real life. Like, all right, the guy maybe lost the game and not happy, but he's going through something bad. His family's had a bad run of some things. It's like you cut the guy some slack. Get over it. It's just a game.
Yeah, and the thing is, I was one of the guys where when my wife started to post things and wanted to do these things, I really didn't want to do them because I'm a private person. And maybe Jill can tell you a little bit about why she thought that we needed to go more viral. We needed to make more people aware of what was going on. So probably the best person to, tell us is Jill.
Well, hello.
Hi.
I just love listening to all you guys talk about this because it's overwhelming, especially, as Erin's mother, the honor and blessing that it has been to watch her walk through all of this and then to pen it down into a book. And of course, everything with Jim and all that we've been through as a married couple. It's our anniversary today, by the way.
I know, 19
years.
I was going to say at the end of the
That's right.
of the interview, but happy anniversary.
Crazy. So, but ultimately, I think that the main reason that I felt that it was necessary for us to share like we did and continue to do so is that everyone has something. Everybody's going through something in their life. And if they're not going through it now, they're going to walk into it or they just walked out of something. And if we can be an encouragement in the midst of our battle so that someone else receives strength from our story, then we've done what we were supposed to do. This isn't about us. And Erin didn't write the book because it's about the Kelly family, although it's called Kelly Tough. We're hoping to encourage people walking through their own battles.
Right.
And that, and you talked about the guy who sent that tweet. Hurt people that are hurt, they end up hurting other people. So certainly, we don't know what his battle was and we don't understand why he did that. But at the end of the day, the choice to forgive is always greater and better for the people who need to forgive. And so it's been an interesting journey and I'm so thankful.
I'm running out of time with you, unfortunately. The book is called Kelly Tough. It's out now, Amazon and wherever books are sold, you can get it. Before you go, can you just tell me real quickly about Hunter's Hope?
My mom actually would probably be the best one to talk about Hunter's Hope.
They just want me to talk.
Yes,
but that's
we
really
were
good 'cause we don't have
joining
a lot
you
of
to the
time.
We don't have much time.
Yeah, Hunter's Hope was started, as a result of there was no cure, no treatment. No one was doing anything for the disease that Hunter had. And so we've rallied. There's so many incredible things that are happening through the foundation. To explain it in however much time we have would be insufficient. And so I would suggest just listeners go to www.huntershope.org. But we are a part of saving lives of children through newborn screening, children born in our country. And so it's just been an honor to help other people going through what we've been through.
HuntersHope.org, Twitter and Instagram, Hunters Hope FDN as well, so you can follow along for information. Again, the book is called Kelly Tough. I've been speaking with Jill, with Jim, and Erin Kelly. # Kelly Tough. Thank you so much for coming in, and I'm glad you're doing well, and then through everything with your family, God bless.
Thank you. God bless you.
Thanks for having us on, bud.
Hit it. Nailed it. Up top, nobody? Okay.
All you.
Gave the phone number out, E-Rock Radio on Twitter and Instagram. Thank you so much to Jim and Erin Kelly. We just talked to them about their book, Kelly Tough. It's out wherever you can get books nowadays, but check Amazon. I'm sure they have it right there. Oh, Gittles is not on.
Hello?
There you go.
Hey.
Sorry about that. They were really cool people. Their family's been through a lot in all different forms of cancer and MRSA and the stuff that they had to go through with their son there. But they were nice enough to sign a copy of the book.
Oh, nice.
Because Hall of Fame football player, I did not feel comfortable trying to get anything football signed at that moment based on what we were talking about.
Of course.
But they gave me the book. It's signed, and we'll have that to give away. So if you want a copy of the book, call into the show, and we will hook you up.
Very
Also, thank you to Jenna Marbles for calling into the show.
Absolutely.
You can check her out on SiriusXM Hits 1 for the YouTube 15 show that she does. Do me a favor, if you guys could out there in Radio Land. On Twitter, @Jenna_Marbles. Use the hashtag It's Erik Nagel, but send her a nice message saying that you enjoyed hearing her on the program. I was not trying to insult her, but I realized some of the things that I was saying could have come off that way. Was not what I was going for at all. I'm actually a fan of her, so if you could and say you enjoyed the program, enjoyed the interview, I would greatly appreciate that, and then tell her that Erik is very sorry. That being said,
I'm going to tweet. I'll be like, Erik is not sorry.
He's laughing and giving middle fingers. But some other stuff I wanted. Let's talk about movies real quick before we get into Simon Pegg. And,
well, it all kind of ties in a weird way.
It does. This week at the box office, the only movies I really see that would draw any real attention, one being Tomorrowland and the other being Poltergeist.
Okay.
For opening this week.
Yes.
For opening this week, yeah.
So, Brian and I had a chance to go see Tomorrowland earlier in this week. We're not going to give the review right now because this is opening weekend. We are encouraging everybody to go out and see this movie because next week we are going to talk about this movie.
Oh, yeah, we are going to talk about this movie.
Because a lot of question marks, and I'm just going to leave it at that. But go out and see the movie. What is it getting ratings-wise? Like the go-to Rotten Tomatoes?
It's like 55, 50-ish. It's not doing good.
That doesn't count as fresh, right?
There was an article today that just said Damon Lindelof should be very happy he quit his Twitter account after the reviews for Tomorrowland came out.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's not being well received.
But this was hyped since... For the longest time, and then last year they started the push. Was it at Comic-Con, right?
Yes,
with the pins, where they put out the pins, and the pins have been a big thing, like the pins are as we've discussed at Disney. And the first glimpse of it, or trailer, if you will, was during the Super Bowl, and you saw a quick little shot, and everybody goes, "I have no idea what this movie's about."
I knew that this movie was in trouble when they started putting out the trailers for the movie, and the trailer showed you nothing.
Yeah.
Because what, to me, that interpreted as a lack of confidence in the content that they were about to present to you. And it seems as though, I have not seen it, so I'm shooting from the hip, but it seems as though that lack of confidence was correct.
I'm going to say they spent $190 million on the budget. They probably could have spent a couple more on writers. That's my review.
All right. Fair enough.
You're right. Yeah, you're giving away things that I told you not to give away.
That's not giving away anything. You watch the movie. It's Tomorrowland.
So go see Tomorrowland. Next week, we definitely are going to talk about it. Other side, Poltergeist.
Yes.
There's been 2 official trailers that I saw on there.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to say that a remake isn't good because, the original movie was better or what have you. But in this particular case, I'm going to say the original movie looks a lot better than what this movie is supposed to be about.
I think sometimes with those old horror movies or older horror movies, like Poltergeist is a really good example. Some of the scariness in that movie and some of the creepiness in that movie was in the writing, and it wasn't what you saw necessarily, it's what you felt watching the movie. And I feel like when they try to redo these horror movies, they change it into a spectacle. And so the visual element doesn't have the same impact that sense of dread. You feel that sense of dread with the good writing and the storytelling. Now, again, I haven't seen it, obviously. I've only seen the trailers, but it feels like it's a spectacle as opposed to a story that's going to genuinely scare me.
Yeah, I totally agree. I don't know. The trailer, I saw it, and it looks like they're trying to go for, like you said, just more scary images. But the good thing about the original Poltergeist is just the pacing. It's just like this slow build. It's just this kind of creeping dread. You don't know what's going to happen. And also, I saw it when I was a kid, so it kind of terrified the shit out of me. I watched it now, and, that whole scene where he's in the bathroom and he's, like, pulling his skin off, it's really cheesy. It's kind of funny to watch now.
I must have missed that part. Is that in the new movie?
I don't know if it's in the new movie. I was just saying that, like, when I was a kid, that was terrifying. But
it
was rewatching
preacher,
it now,
right?
It's hilarious.
Wasn't he the preacher, the one in the bathroom that was ripping the skin off? Yeah. That was terrifying, but I was looking in the trailers to see the pool scene.
Yeah, if they do the pool scene.
I didn't see the pool scene.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they're saving that for the movie.
And I don't know if they're going to do the ending, be like, oh, we're on a Native American burial.
Why are they saying it for the movie? Oh, apparently, look, it's no spoiler. I haven't seen Mad Max yet. It opened last week, by the way. Came in second behind Pitch Perfect, too, but it's doing very well.
It's going to do well for a long time.
It's going to make a lot of money.
Legs.
It may not be number one because I see that, you got Tomorrowland this weekend, which will probably be number one. And then next week is San Andreas, which will probably be number one for that weekend.
You think so?
It's the summer blockbuster.
It's a big
stuff,
blockbuster.
Dude. It's just going to...
It's 2012 meets Independence Day meets every other disaster movie.
All right. I don't know. I kind of feel like...
We're not saying it may or may not be good. We don't know. I'm saying it's a big blockbuster. Right. It has The Rock in it, coming right off of Furious 7, which is up to... Where was Furious 7? $1.4 billion worldwide that movie's made.
That's more than some countries make.
Right. So it's going to be number one. I'm pretty much guaranteeing the following weekend when that comes out. Mad Max, the trailer, I haven't seen the movie. I saw the trailer, but people have told me pretty much everything that's important to the movie is in the trailer. You're seeing the plot for the whole movie is already in the trailer.
That leaves me a bit confused because I've seen the trailer several times because I'm really excited about this, and I kind of feel like I don't have the whole story from watching the trailer.
Yeah, same here. I don't feel like I have the whole story at all from watching
you haven't seen it, right?
And you haven't seen it. No.
I'm going to try to go see it this weekend.
I think, I would think that I've heard 99% of the reviews that I've read or the people I've seen talking about it online, it's been nothing but favorable.
No, I'm not saying people are shitting on it. I'm just saying people have said they wish they didn't see the trailer before seeing the movie.
Right, but what I'm saying is that even if everything in the trailer is in the movie, I guess whatever they add to it in the film is still well enough for people to think it's a great film. That's all I'm saying.
Well, that's bringing me back to Poltergeist here because I'm wondering if everything you see in this trailer is really all the big stuff for the movie.
I'm assuming most of it is. Yeah. With horror movies, they tend to do a lot of that. You don't get a lot of like extra scares that they do in the theaters, and if they do, it's like one or two. But like they usually,
if they stayed closer to the original movie, right? She's tapping on the TV, the rope going into the ceiling, that kind of thing. Okay, I get it. It's a newer look to it, but if they're staying with it, even the guy, it's a guy in this one who comes in to try to remove the spirits from the house instead of that
like
weird
the medium lady.
Yeah, instead of the weird lady that they had, they should have got another weird lady to do this. But now it's this dude who looks like a snake oil salesman and a preacher coming in, doing his hallelujah stuff in the living room. The kid getting yanked up the stairs, the doll going all over the place. It's coming off to Paranormal Activity, to Insidious, to that style of horror movie that they do now. Why didn't they just stick to what worked and it was terrifying to begin with when it came out in the 80s?
Well, I mean, that's kind of what I said. I think they're kind of playing up a different angle than what the original did. But that being said, if all they were going to do is simply recreate the original movie today, why bother?
Yeah, why?
I guess in a weird way, I give them some
why
sort
bother?
of props.
Because the effects and what they could add to it could be good. if they did the original story as it was.
But at the same time, maybe it should just be left alone.
I am all right with leaving it alone.
Going through all that, originally, yes, they should not have done this.
Okay.
And I've said that way back when the trailer first started coming out. But since it's here, maybe they should have done it this way.
I don't know. It's weird because I kind of give them this weird props, like this weird high five for trying to do something different. But at the same time, it's like, but you're taking what you think is the movie and you're using the title for the movie, but it's really not the movie. I don't know.
Do you think it's going to spawn as many terrible sequels as the first Poltergeist?
It's a horror movie, which means that it'll do very well. It'll exceed its budget.
Wait a minute. The second Poltergeist wasn't bad. The third one, which I don't think I've ever completed.
That's the one where they're like in the hotel or whatever.
And that's where the girl died in real life while shooting that one. The third one, I don't think I've really seen even halfway through. But the third one was the one everyone complained about. The first and second ones from the original series of Poltergeist were very good.
Yeah, they were good.
2 was I don't know. That's me.
Right. But I don't know.
There's just no pleasing you, Gittles.
There isn't. Sorry.
So I think there's a very good likelihood that it'll make enough money to warrant a sequel. Most horror movies do.
But are the sequels going to be like remakes of the sequels that they did, or is it going to go in a different direction depending on this movie?
I feel as though
that would be interesting.
That's what I want to know.
Because if they go in a different story, like the Star Trek ones, if they went in a different storyline, we have to start here, but then it's going to go this way. Then I'll be happy with it. But if they're doing it exactly or close to what the original 3 movies were, there was only 3, right?
Yeah,
the original ones.
So.
Yeah. Then it's just like, again, why the fuck did you bother making these?
I feel like I can't answer that question until I see the new one.
Probably.
Because if the new one ends different than the original, obviously, like you said before, then obviously it doesn't make sense to follow the same path to a certain degree that the other sequels did. So, I mean, yeah, there'll probably be Poltergeist 2 next year.
Well, who's directing it? Was Sam Raimi was producing it, right? Like, I don't know. Who is directing it?
We got the computer there. You can
I pop that up. Computer here. I have this smartphone.
Sam Raimi is working on... Sam Raimi is too busy working on what's it called? The Evil Dead TV show. So
that's right.
Let him focus on that with Bruce Campbell.
No, but I think he had something to do with the new Poltergeist. Like either he was the producer or like co-EP or something.
Or he suggested it.
I could be wrong too. I don't know.
He lent some fancy camera work to it.
So there's Poltergeist. Well, Matt looks that up. Tomorrowland also this weekend. Next weekend, San Andreas, which... Look, I love those movies. I know people aren't big fans of like Day After Tomorrow or 2012 because the stories, don't really add up. But I don't care. I like seeing those disaster flicks where a wave is knocking down the Statue of Liberty and all the buildings in New York, or when he was driving the most unrealistic scene in movie history when he's driving the limo in 2012 and the earthquake is happening and the road's cracking behind him, but the limo is just fast enough to escape the earth breaking open and swallowing everything.
I am looking forward to all the big summer shit shows. Those are my favorite. Like the big just disaster, everything's exploding. It's all the same trite storylines. You know where it's going. There's no surprises.
Did you see the San Andreas trailer?
Oh, yeah.
The cruise ship being lifted up by the wave and slamming into the Golden Gate Bridge. I was like, done.
Sold.
I don't need to see any story other than stuff blowing up and getting destroyed.
What do you think it was like on the deck of that cruise ship? Like, oh, shit.
You're still hearing hot, hot, hot as they're doing the limbo.
Hot, hot. Oh, fuck.
Guys falling out of the midnight buffet. And oh, well.
So on IMDb, it says legendary filmmaker Sam Raimi and director Gil Kenan reimagine and contemporize the classic tale, blah, blah, blah.
Okay,
so there you go.
He helped him reimagine
but he doesn't have a director credit, although Steven Spielberg apparently worked on the story and screenplay, so there you go. I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean anything to me, but
AI ending.
So we got those movies out of the way. Done. San Andreas is opening next week. I want to jump another week ahead to possibly what could be one of the worst things ever made.
Which is?
And it's opening on a Wednesday, so they're banking on a 5-day...
They're on the Letterman schedule here.
No, that's to end. If they were ending the movie on a Wednesday, then I'm all about it. But since it's starting on a 5-day and they're going for the 5-day box office, which is not even holiday box office, the Entourage movie.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Like everybody else, when that show came out in the first season, you're like, okay, I'm figuring this out. It's not too bad or whatever. And then it just goes to shit because it's so unrealistic. The first season, it's because it's based on the life of Mark Wahlberg and his friends and things like that when he started out in Hollywood. So that first season, okay, I get it. But then it became so over the top, so exaggerated, so just like, oh, now porn stars are banging him, and he's getting all these opportunities to play Aquaman and all these other dumb things. And he fails at everything. Like, he goes to do it, and then it comes out, nobody likes it. And then he does his passion project, and nobody likes it. It's like, this guy is failing upward, and he's got 3 guys that are just around him, just leeching off of him and living the good life. I don't care about any of this.
Yeah.
And the only people I'm finding that do enjoy this are college frat guys or jock guys.
But so do you
think, girls that don't know any better.
So do you think the audience for this movie is the same college frat guys that liked it, or do you think they're trying to grab a new audience? Because I kind of feel like
as
a
in
lot
they're
of
gonna
people
reboot
outgrew
it type thing.
No, like I kind of feel like people outgrew Entourage.
I outgrew it while it was on the air.
Yes.
Like that's
Okay,
what I'm
me
saying.
too.
Like by the end of the season where he made Medellin like his passion project, like I was done. Like I checked out. I was like, I don't really care too much about this story.
Let's say you stuck it through the end, right?
Like Dexter.
So don't you kind of feel like that group might have matured a little at this point? Maybe they don't care about the movie, or maybe they do. I don't know. I don't know what the audience for Entourage is. Like, I didn't realize there was an appetite for it.
Well, what have they done in the meantime? I think that's where we can see whether or not they're.
Look, if the movie starts off, they're all just like fat on a couch for 2 hours, like watching YouTube videos, like watching Jenna Marbles for 2 hours, I might go see it just because.
That might
if
be
that's
pretty
not what it is, I don't think I care.
Well, the Entourage movie's coming in 2 weeks. Sure. I'm not happy about it, but I'm not going to go see it. I thought
it's going to happen.
We should go.
Look, it was one of those things where I just didn't understand why it was popular. I really did not get it.
You're not going to go see Entourage, but you're going to go see Tomorrowland?
I already saw Tomorrowland.
Yeah, he can't take that back.
Entourage is what about Entourage do you not like? Like
all of it.
Like about a guy going out with money, getting girls, spending money, getting cars.
Because it's not realistic.
No, in all seriousness,
not the half the shit that I watch is realistic at all. A guy in a blue phone booth flying around, and and Star Trek and all that other stuff. But I don't see exactly. It's what's interesting? Who's the billionaire that's on Instagram? Dan. I want to say I'm getting his name wrong. Hang on a second. There's this billionaire who's on Instagram that I follow. He's doing what Entourage tries to do, but you believe this guy is doing it because he's on a yacht, he's laying on an expensive Italian car, and he's got a hot chick topless holding a gun, and it's a real photo. It's going on. So you're like, this guy is doing this shit.
He's living the life.
Everything you see on Entourage, you're like, it's all, with the exception of Ari and Lloyd. They were great characters.
Ari's great.
Everything else on that
like
show
Turtle?
was just...
Turtle.
The whole thing about building his custom sneakers.
The sneakers, yeah, dude.
And that whole story. Go fuck yourself.
That
really.
was a terrible storyline with all these fucking
Sneakerheads are
shoes.
just as bad as people who buy, like, we had this comparison where they buy all the toys and stuff, but they have it up there, but they don't open it.
Oh, okay.
They don't enjoy it. It's hoarded away. And you're spending that much money on a fucking pair of sneakers that you don't wear.
I was going to say, Eric has a gun safe filled with toys. I don't know if he can really go down this road.
No, but I kind of want to address what Lewis said and a little bit more specifically.
Here's his name.
Okay.
Dan Bilzerian, Bilzerian. Billionaire.
He sounds like a billionaire.
Yeah, that's a billionaire's name.
9.1 million followers on Instagram alone,
He's
right?
catching up to Jenna Marbles.
Well, he's got topless girls with guns, so
Look,
there's an audience for that. I'm assuming.
This picture here, right? His latest one. The caption, I don't even know what to say, but I feel used. And it's just, he's standing there with a towel while there's 2 or 3 naked girls passed out in his bed. This is happening. And good for this guy. Entourage is not happening.
Fair enough.
I want to get Dan on the show.
All right.
Lewis, make it happen.
I would love to make that happen.
Let's get him on here.
Here's
I don't know
question.
what we could offer a billionaire to come on this show, but I'm sure Roland could get some great food in here or something like that. Get this guy on the show. I would love to talk to him about his life because that's more interesting than Entourage.
All right.
Why is it not okay to buy expensive sneakers and put them away than to buy a first edition comic book and put that away and never touch it, never open it?
It's just as bad. I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that one's better than the other. I'm saying if you're going to buy this stuff, buy it because you would enjoy it and you display it and what have you. You're spending enormous amount of money on a comic book that you lock away. You're never going to read. Ridiculous. You're spending $1,500 to $5,000, maybe even more, on a pair of sneakers that sit in a box, maybe in a safe, but probably in a closet somewhere, just sitting there so you can take a photo with them and put them online. Look what I got. Good for you. You're going to wear them? No, you can't wear these things.
This conversation took a really weird turn somewhere.
It's like weird, I don't know, between shoe collectors and toy collecting. It's getting kind of creepy in here.
And I'm in a rough spot because, I've got like 30 pairs of Converse and I have a huge toy collection. So I'm a little uncomfortable.
You have them out of the box. They're on display.
I wear my Converse and I play with my toys.
I was going to say, you play with them. Everything's being used for the purpose that they're supposed to be.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right.
What it boils down to is I don't like Entourage.
Yeah, Eric's not seeing the Entourage movie. Let's just put that out
and
there.
I'm suggesting nobody else does either. They're going to, but I'm putting it out there that I would recommend not seeing that movie.
Let's just do this. I'll see it so you don't have to.
There you go. That's your homework.
Okay, and you tell me.
I'll tell you how bad it is.
And then you tell me if I'm wrong with all my assessments of it.
I'll do that.
Okay.
I will do that.
That sounds fair. Right. Breathe. There we go.
You tell us when you're ready to move on.
I'm ready to move on because you know what? We didn't give away the Jim Kelly book.
No, but you have some people on hold.
We do have.
That I think are interested.
Let's go to Cody in Indiana. Cody.
Hello, Eric.
How are you?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
I am good. I'm taking a breather here from my my rage against Entourage. Did you enjoy the Jim Kelly, Erin Kelly interview?
You know what? I did. I thought that they were very informative about diseases happening to young children that I would like to learn more about.
There you go. So I'm guessing you would like a copy of their book, Kelly Tough, available wherever books are sold.
It's not a toy, but beggars can't be choosers, and I never win shit. So, yeah, I'd love one.
Well, you're going to appreciate the book because he's a Hall of Famer. Don't take it because you never win anything. I'll give you another prize.
Yeah, don't use it as like a doorstop or something.
But if you're really going to appreciate the book and who it's from, then I'll give it to you.
You know what? I'll be honest and say that I wanted to win it because I never win anything, and I'll let someone who will appreciate it more take it.
Okay, Cody, I appreciate your honesty, so here's what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to give you... let's see.
Something random from the prize.
I will give you a copy of the complete series of Hey Dude on DVD, brought to you by our friends at Shout Factory.
I can appreciate it. I'm wearing a Ren and Stimpy shirt right now, so Nickelodeon's my shit.
Nice.
Perfect. Cody, thank you for listening. I'm going to put you on hold, and we're going to get your information, all right?
Hey, dude.
All right, hold on there. Let's go to James in North Carolina. James?
Hey, Eric.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. Yourself?
I'm doing a radio show that you called into.
Dug the show interview, man. I was never really a Jim Kelly fan, but damn, really, really impressed by him and his family.
Yeah,
no idea they'd gone through that stuff.
Yeah, they went through a lot of hard stuff, and they're still going through some stuff. But the fact that they've gotten through it, and look, I'm not a big, and I've said it in the interview, I'm not a religious person. I mean, I was at one point, but it's gone. I do admire when people can find whatever it is that they need in their life, if it is religion, to get through things and to move on with their life and to help them out. I have a lot of respect for that because I don't know if I have that in me. So I am envious when people can do that. So the fact that they found God and they're going through all this stuff is a miraculous story.
Most definitely, considering what they went through. Oh yeah, that's insane. Most people would completely crumble under that kind of family issues.
Well, James, thank you. I appreciate your words. I was going to give you the book, but you also said you're not a big Jim Kelly fan, so maybe I can hook you up with something.
I didn't know. I've never been a Bills fan, but damn, hearing about the guy is fucking amazing.
All right. You know what? I'll give you the book.
I think you should give him the book, so that way he can learn more.
Okay. Fair enough. I'm going to give you a copy of the book, Kelly Tough, signed by Jim and Erin Kelly, all right?
Thank you very much, Eric.
All right, James, I'm going to put you on hold. We'll get your information there.
We provide rage and education here on
Better read that book or I'll kill him.
Yes. I don't see a name on here. 239.
I bet he puts that book in a closet and never even fucking opens it.
Yep. Gives that for Christmas.
Hello, you there?
Yeah, hey, Rock.
Hey, what's your name?
Well, this is Pat.
Pat, where are you calling from?
Right now I'm calling from Oregon.
Oregon.
Oh, cool.
What'd you got for us, Pat?
Well, I went and saw the Mad Max movie.
Okay.
And if you cut 3 things out of it, it would be a PG movie, and you could watch it on a Saturday afternoon on a rainy day if you had nothing else to do and you weren't playing with your girlfriend.
Okay, but why would you want to watch a PG version of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could. It would be that easy.
No, I know you could, but why would you want to?
I don't get his angle.
I don't get it either.
Slightly ticked off Max.
It's boring.
You thought Mad Max was boring?
Yeah, extremely boring.
Wow.
Okay.
Really? This is the first time I've heard anybody refer to it as boring. Good on you.
Especially when they do when you're watching the movie, you know, I'm not giving anything away, but they do the cutaways, and it's like, okay, you've got now 3 seconds of dead screen. It's like, what? Now what happens?
Sure, you watched Mad Max? Because the one thing I've heard about Mad Max is that there is no dead screens. It's like nonstop action from start to finish.
Yeah, that's what I've heard too.
Not.
I think you're watching Entourage. Did you get our screener?
No, I mean, it's one of those, I watched it in IMAX. I watched it in 3D.
He's watching the original on TNT is what
I
it
think
is.
that's what it is. Was Mel Gibson in the film? Because
so many basketball commercials.
No. What? I'm serious. There were 3 seconds, like, all of a sudden the scene would end, and there'd be like 3 seconds of blank screen. Like, what the hell? And all of a sudden the movie kick in. It's like, all right, what the hell? But it was boring.
You weren't having like a seizure because you saw it on IMAX 3D, right? Like you weren't just blacking in and out of.
I feel bad because this guy's clearly seen it. Apparently.
I know. Like, I haven't seen it, so I can't say anything.
I'm just baffled.
I haven't seen it either. So
I've heard nobody say any of the things that this guy. I'm wondering if like he saw like a shitty cut or like something happened in the theater. The power went out. And he thought he was watching the movie.
All right,
like,
Pat,
I'm not sure.
Pat, let me tell you what I'm going to do here. Okay, I'm going to save this call. So after we all see this movie, I'll play this call back and then say, "Holy shit, Pat was right," or Pat had no idea what he was talking about.
Well, right. Well, I mean, but seriously, that's what happened. You know, yeah, but it did explain one thing that finally made sense from the second movie.
Okay.
Was the guys who were always on the front of the cars that had that were mounted to the front of the cars? They finally explained what they were.
Well, you know, it's amazing when this guy's on the phone, like 3 seconds of dead air.
Right.
He doesn't say anything, and then he gets back to it. And I'm like, wait, what just happened? This is the greatest, worst phone call ever.
Pat, I think you might be indulging on too many voodoo donuts.
All right, guys. You have a great night, man.
All right, take care. That is the laugh of a pothead.
Yeah, he was really high when he saw Mad Max.
All right, we're going to have to get ready to take a break in a moment because then we're going to talk to Nice Peter from the Epic Rap Battles of History.
He's playing Pitch Perfect.
Anything? Well, we didn't get to Simon Pegg, but let's touch on Simon Pegg real quick.
Okay.
I also want to bring in these two guys here. If I can find your mics, I think you're on. Are you guys there?
I'm on.
No, you're not.
Oh,
What the
Liar!
On. Try it again.
Yo.
There you are.
There we are.
Am I on?
And there you are.
Hey.
Mike and Peter, how are you guys doing?
I'm doing good.
They are from the Audibly Exquisite podcast.
Lovely.
They reached out to me a while ago. They wanted to do something with us, which we're going to do a little bit later, and it'll show up on their podcast. But I got to check out some of their stuff, and you haven't been doing it too long, but they are doing some interesting topics. The most recent podcast was they were discussing, does Darth Vader really poop? And I don't know why they went in that direction, but I was actually fascinated listening to it.
Sure.
One problem I did have is who's the guy that said that they like Fantastic Four? That would be you.
Yeah.
He's all about seeing this Fantastic Four movie. And Matt, tell him why he's wrong.
Because that's too long of a conversation. It looks like a cool science fiction movie. It does not look like the Fantastic Four.
That's why I'm going in with that.
The heart of Fantastic Four is the heart and the family, and it does not feel like that. It feels like four guys in space that get some shitty powers, and the thing looks like the rock biter from the Neverending Story. I just don't get it. I'm totally confused. It doesn't feel like and I'm a Fantastic Four fan. Like, I grew up on that book, and it just doesn't feel like it has the heart and soul of what that book was about. That's my concern.
I mean, I'd be fine if they do it the Arrested Development style with Tobias, with Rockman.
Fair enough.
All right. Well, we are going to have to take a break. Mike and Peter, give out the plugs for your podcast there.
We are at the AE Podcast on Twitter and individually at Peter Melnick, PeterMelnick. And
he's
Mike,
nervous.
Mike _Noren, MIKE_NOREN.
Go to iTunes, get the Audibly Exquisite podcast, check them out, and if you like them, send them a nice note that you heard them on this show and what have you. And Matt and I will be making an appearance sometime soon on theirs.
Nice.
So there you go. We didn't talk about Simon Pegg, but real quick, Simon Pegg said that he feels bad because society is degraded to being adult children thanks to sci-fi and fantasy movies.
But then he kind of retracted that in a statement, and he said, look, the in short part of his retraction from his blog was, I love science fiction and fantasy and do not think it is all childish. I do not think it is It is all generated by dominant forces as a direct means of control. Much. I am still a nerd and proud. Love and rockets, Simon. And that was the last paragraph of his blog post.
That retraction was forced on him from the people at Star Trek.
No, I don't think so.
You're shitting all over what we're doing here. You need to retract.
No, I don't think so. I think he honestly was trying to make a point, and I think a lot of times what happens in an interview is you say something and you don't have a means of retracting it or changing it on the spot, and it's not until you have the chance to look back at it or someone points out to you or what you've said exactly and how it could be interpreted. Once you get a chance to think about it, you realized, okay, this could be misconstrued. This is what I meant. And you should actually go to his website and read the retraction. It's not really a retraction, his explanation. And it's pretty good. I think it's just simonpeg.com.
I don't know, that top sentence at the top of that page right now is just wrong. The top sentence of that.
Well, he hadn't seen it. He says, I've yet to see Tomorrowland.
Okay, just making sure.
So, but the name of the blog post, May 19th, it's The Big Mouth Strikes Again, and it's simonpeg.com, I think is the site. So check it out. But he's got some interesting points.
I did kind of agree with him. Because it's exactly what I do, and a lot of people do, but, excuse me, I kind of agree with him. And a lot of people are just like, life's too, no, I don't want to talk about politics and taxes and finance and all that stuff. I want to just go and talk about all these sci-fi things and what have it. And we are guilty of that, and I do agree with him, but I'm not going to stop doing it.
No, sure.
Because I really don't care about all the adult stuff.
And he says that too. He says, look, I'm still a nerd. I'm still I still love that genre. I think he just has some concerns that there are some pretty shitty things going on in the world.
Right.
And that these movies take our attention away from them. So my counterpoint to that is, unfortunately, I kind of feel like I'm engrossed in the shitty stuff all day long. Right. And so at the end of the day, I want to go see Ultron blow shit up so I could forget about it for 2 hours. And then I go right back to ISIS and all the Nepal and all that. For me, it's not a way for me to avoid those topics. It's a way for me to check out of those topics for a little bit and have a little bit of relief and have a little bit of fun as opposed to just being depressed all the time and watching CNN and the news constantly tell me how terrible the world is. I want to have
Well, you could also watch Tomorrowland and they can tell you the same thing. Oops, spoiler. Sorry. Sorry about that. Anyway, so that's it from Simon Pegg here, and I'm still going to wear his T-shirt.
Sure.
That I'm wearing.
I'm glad I didn't choose to wear that one tonight.
Oh, we could have been twinsies. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk to Nice Peter from the epic rap battles of history. We'll be right back.
It's Erik Nagel. Erik and Matt will be right back. It's Erik Nagel. Erik Nagel.
Epic rap battles of history. Erik Nagel. Versus Nice Peter. Begin.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome on the show right now a gentleman who I've been really eager to get in touch with for a long time, ever since I discovered probably one of the most amazing viral things that you will ever find on the internet. Of course, I'm talking about epic rap battles of history, and on the phone with me right now from California, you know him as Nice Peter. Peter, how are you?
Very well. Just catching up. I actually I stayed up through the night editing a video, so I'm still catching up on today, but feeling really good.
For those of you out there who aren't aware, what is Epic Rap Battles of History? You know, I'm going to let you describe it, but pretty much it's probably one of the greatest things I've ever seen somebody creatively do on the internet.
You're too kind, man. I don't know. I've seen some really, really funny stuff done with cats and screaming goats. It's a video series where we take any two people from any time and place, fictional, non-fictional, and we put them into a trans-dimensional space, and they settle their differences in a rap. It kind of came from this idea of originally an improv game that my partner Lloyd was doing at his theater, where you'd get two suggestions from the audience. Like, I'm Michael Keaton, and you're Michael J. Fox, and we'll have a rap battle, and they would improvise it. And then I kind of had this little kind of daydream about taking that and combining it with like Mortal Kombat and making a video out of it. And we started, the two of us, in my bedroom, working with a microphone, making a song. And we partnered up with a guy named Dave. He works at Saturday Night Live now, directing their videos.
Wow.
And he directed our video. Yeah, he went on to do some pretty great things. So he helped us create the visual aspect of it. We made the song, and we put it up on YouTube. And the first one did all right. It got like 150,000 views, which is enough for us to say, oh, this is pretty cool. Let's do this again.
What was the first episode you put up?
It was John Lennon versus Bill O'Reilly.
Okay.
And we didn't think of it. Because the first thing I did was I had a a little audience on YouTube, a small audience of about 50,000, maybe to 100,000 people, which is, that was a lot of people for me at that time. And I asked them, I said, I told them we had this idea, and they're like, who would you want to see? And they left a bunch of suggestions, and that one just kind of like it jumped out. And it was definitely I got to find that dude someday and shake his hand, because he kind of set the tone for the whole series of like, it doesn't have to be anybody. It can be anybody as long as they have a reason to yell at each other.
Right.
And that's kind of where the fun comes from.
Well, as time has gone on, and you obviously, honed your craft, and each one gets better and better, it makes more sense if they have a reason to yell at each other. But you guys have really gotten into the knack of unique pairing in the sense that it's not, let's just throw two guys and see if it works out. You got really clever with who's battling who.
Thank you. We've thrown out some, halfway written battles that just like we couldn't find the beef. It didn't seem we were forcing the argument. I always try to explain it like if Bill and Ted threw a house party, and anybody from any time and place in history could be there, and they were waiting in line for the bathroom, would these two people like get into an argument, or would they get along? And if they would get into an argument, we could probably make a rap battle out of it.
What was the one that you think put you guys on the map?
Oh, that was Darth Vader versus Adolf Hitler, for sure. So at the end of the John Wayne and Bill O'Reilly one, we put this thing up that says, who won, who's next, you decide. And we showed a picture of the comment that somebody actually suggested Bill O'Reilly, John Lennon. It is true. They really did. And then that just, that was telling the audience, like, hey, we're listening. We want to know what you want to see. We want your ideas. And somebody wrote Darth Vader versus Adolf Hitler. And that was another one that we didn't think of. I wouldn't have thought of it. But as soon as I saw it, I was like, holy shit, this is funny. And yeah, it was.
Is it scary how good a Hitler Lloyd does?
A little bit. And we didn't expect it. It got millions of views. And it got banned in certain countries in Europe. I just never thought of the reality of that before. At the time, it was just me and my friend joking about Hitler. We weren't trying to say anything or make any kind of statement or anything. And then all of a sudden, it was like millions of people overhearing me and my friend joking about Hitler. So I just decided we would always make Hitler get abused somehow. So in the first one, he gets frozen in carbonite. The second one, he gets thrown in the Rancor pit. Third one, he gets sliced in half with a lightsaber.
Was the goal to make it a trilogy just like Star Wars, or did it just work out that way?
It just worked out that way.
For those of you who may be just tuning in and not knowing what's going on, I'm talking with Nice Peter, one of the co-founders of Epic Rap Battles of History. If you don't know what these are, just go to YouTube or epicrapbattlesofhistory.com. Check out the website, and there's a ton of stuff that you'll be sitting there for days watching over and over, and then you're going to send it to a friend and go, oh my God, you got to see this, and that friend's going to go, where the hell have you been? I saw that like 2 years ago. Get with it. You definitely want to check all this out here. Peter, your name, Nice Peter, does it happen to be a play on Pete Nice from Third Base?
Of course. That's amazing, and you might be the only person that's ever called that accurately.
So you're paying tribute to the Prime Minister Pete Nice.
I am paying tribute to the Prime Minister Pete Nice, and it's kind of a little bit of a dick joke. I used to, I was a musician in Chicago, and I played songs, across the Midwest, and I played funny songs. So a lot of times they got a little rowdy. So I would sing these kind of like racy songs, but I looked like I was 14 and innocent. So it seemed like a funny, appropriate name for me, and it got given to me at a hip-hop spoken word poetry open mic night in Chicago. I used to just go by just Peter Shukoff, my name, and then they used to call me Pete Nice after Prime Minister Pete Nice, and then one night they called me Nice Pete, but NicePete.com was already taken. So I got NicePeter.com and called myself Nice Peter.
So it's safe to say that you rip the mic and go for yours.
I rip the mic and I go for mine.
Yes. Going back to Epic Rap Battles of History here, you've also had some great partnerships for a lot of the videos you did. Some of my favorite have been, and it hasn't even involved you two, at least on screen, has been the ones that Key and Peele did.
Oh, man, yeah. They're amazing. Those guys are so talented. They worked as hard as we do. Obviously they worked super hard, but they just, I don't know, they showed up. They didn't half-ass anything.
Right.
They gave it their all, and we've been starstruck this whole time. We've gotten to work with some people we just never expected to be able to work with. We got to do a rap with Snoop Dogg. We got to work with Key and Peele. It's been amazing how inspiringly passionate all these people are.
Another favorite of mine was I also work on a show called Opie and Jimmy, and we saw the ones with Weird Al as Sir Isaac Newton versus Bill Nye the Science Guy. To get Weird Al on board just seemed like a no-brainer, and the fact that he could rap that fast is amazing.
He's unbelievable. He was another one that was inspiring. Like, he showed up on our set. He just showed up and worked hard and did take after take. And he's been around for a while.
Right.
He's still, like, doing jump kicks and flipping and just all those moments, like getting to do any kind of work with somebody that, you know, we look up to when we were younger and kind of inspired the path that we have, and then to actually get to meet them and they actually live up to it and are as cool as you hope they always would be. It's pretty awesome.
When you get guys like Key and Peele and Weird Al, and who are the guys that did the Ninja Turtles versus the Fathers of the Renaissance?
Those were 4 other, I'm using the word YouTubers.
Yeah, they were from other groups.
Yeah, there's some of us that, there's this group of us that's what we do. We make YouTube videos, and there's Rhett and Link, who make a show every day, every morning that gets 1 million views. It's incredible, and it's an awesome show. It's called Good Mythical Morning. It's incredible. I saw them eat a chili pepper, the ghost pepper.
Yeah, the really dangerous ones.
Yeah, they each ate a whole one and tried to sit there for 10 minutes without drinking any water. It was crazy. So that was Rhett and Link played Leonardo da Vinci and Donatello, and then Smosh played the artist Raphael and Michelangelo.
Those are the 2 that I was trying to remember. When you have those guys in, and like I said, Weird Al and Key and Peele and what have you, do they have any input as far as the writing to it, or is it all done and they just perform it?
They definitely have input. We write a lot of it. We write some of it. We write drafts of it, send it to them, see what they think. We work together. It's all a pretty fluid collaboration. But we try to, if we're going to have a guest, we want to try to write something that fits within what we already love about their music, what we've already been inspired by. So it's fit pretty well so far. We've never sent something to somebody and been like, what the hell is this?
There are people that have reached out to you that you never even thought of that want to be part of future projects?
I've never expected to hear from you. I know about your radio history. It's all been pretty, everybody that reaches out to me, I didn't expect it. Like I said, 5 years ago, I was playing in Long Beach on Tuesday nights at a pizza place that I love them. They kept me going on Tuesday nights. And I was going to valet park cars. I wasn't really doing too well in my music career. And then, 5 years later, to be getting calls from anybody that wants to talk to me about what I'm doing or work with me on something, it's all pretty surprising still.
I do want to point out a couple of things for you as far as characters that you featured in your videos and people I have had the opportunity to talk to not too long ago. You had representations of Neil deGrasse Tyson and Rick Grimes from The Walking Dead. Yeah. Now, Neil deGrasse Tyson was in not too long ago, and I had asked him about had he seen the video, and he had. And I asked what he thought about his portrayal in the video there. And 1, he said, of course, he should have won, which he did. And 2, he said, I don't know why they didn't ask me.
Oh, come on, man. I was holding my breath that whole time. I tell you, I didn't know what he was going to say. Holy shit. Why didn't we? Because we got to work with Charlie Tuna from Jurassic 5.
Right.
That's why.
That's no slouch. Yeah, I know, but...
No slouch. That guy taught me how to rap. that was the voice that I listened to.
Right.
That, like, when I did the Darth Vader rap, that was who I was channeling my inner Charlie Tuna from Jurassic 5, at least trying. So why didn't we ask Neil so we should have Neil deGrasse Tyson come on and play somebody else.
Well, now you know that there's potential there, so you can always reach out to him for another part.
Man, how does that happen? How do you wake up one day and Neil deGrasse Tyson is interested in working with you? That's crazy.
Well, the other person I want to tell, I got a chance to talk to about what you guys do was recently Andrew Lincoln from The Walking Dead. And
right. I've gone past holding my breath. I'm like sitting down on the ground waiting to hear what you're going to say.
So I asked him about what was he aware that there was a rap video about him? And he said, oh, is this where I'm fighting the guy from Breaking Bad? And I said, yes. And then I said, Epic Rap Battles. And he said it was very well done.
All right. I'll take that. I wouldn't.
Why is it so hard for you to take compliments on your work?
No, it's not. Like I said, I'm happy to take that one. I don't know how people are going to respond when we actually are using their character
right
in this satirical thing. Like, that can go either way. Walking Dead is probably my favorite television show. And Rick Grimes is probably my favorite television show dude. So it's just, I can take it. I can't stop appreciating it. That he saw something that I made.
Well, I'll make this deal with you. The more people that come in that you feature in these videos, I will mention your videos and see what they think about it.
That is a deal.
And next time I'm out in California, I want to come and visit the set and see how you guys do everything. You have a great layout with the green screen, but you have a makeup and costume crew.
Yes, we do.
How do you guys fund all this?
YouTube, iTunes. There is a little ad at the beginning of a YouTube video.
Right.
When you watch that, an advertiser pays Google some money. Eventually, some of that money filters into us and helps us pay for crew and equipment. And then we sell our songs to the audience.
Now, you said John Lennon, Bill O'Reilly was the first one. Darth Vader vs. Hitler put you on the map. What do you feel is your most popular?
The most popular, one of them just crossed 100 million views, and that was Barack Obama versus Mitt Romney.
Wow.
When that came out, it was on some Billboard chart. We were sandwiched between Jay-Z and then us and then Ludacris for like the most streams that week or something. And yeah.
And their camps are looking like, what the hell is this shit?
Yeah, I love that. That maybe has been what's helped us keep growing, is that something will spike and people go, what the hell is this shit? And you mentioned earlier about you start with one and then hopefully 2 hours later you watch them all. That was something we did on purpose. We never wanted to put out a shitty one. It might be one that it's not their favorite,
right?
But whatever one people stumbled onto first by accident because they were looking up Miley Cyrus for something else and they accidentally see our version of Miley Cyrus versus Joan of Arc. I just wanted them to see it and be like, oh, this is good. I'll watch another one.
Right.
And we just found that if you always make stuff like that, it just keeps growing.
You guys have perfected what we call the YouTube vortex, where if somebody finds one of your things and they go, oh my God, what else have these people done? And they click on the channel link or the suggestions on the side, you're there for hours going through everything.
Well, thank you. We did it on purpose. We did it by looking at what works and just aiming for something and just keep working on it until it hits it. And YouTube's also been very good to us. Somebody in the YouTube office gets a kick out of us and has always done a pretty great job of getting us featured and all that kind of stuff. So we pop up on the side a lot.
Now, you guys have been on a really incredible roll, especially with season 4 or the first half of season 4, Ellen DeGeneres versus Oprah Winfrey, but the Ghostbusters versus the Mythbusters.
Yeah.
Very well done. Have you heard any feedback from the Mythbusters camp about this?
Yeah, we got a lot of positive feedback from the Mythbusters. I didn't hear from Adam Savage.
Right.
Is the much more outgoing personality on the Mythbusters.
Yeah,
and he
Jamie's
said,
kind of a recluse, yeah.
Jamie, and we didn't hear from him. I played Jamie. I had a blast playing Jamie. I like playing the mean dudes. And but Adam tweeted us, the rest, Grant tweeted us, Carrie tweeted us. So most of the Mythbusters crew sent us a tweet or said something, and their team was actually pretty supportive about we told them we were doing it ahead of time, and they got into it. We just know, we know what we have to do if we're going to pick somebody like the Ghostbusters. That if we're going to try and do something like that, we can't have it suck.
Right.
The costumes can't suck, the graphics can't suck, the raps can't suck. It is cool when people notice.
Was the Stay Puft rap an homage to Biggie Smalls?
Of course.
Yeah.
And that was all Lloyd. My partner Lloyd did that performance, and he really kept pushing for that style. I didn't see it that way. That's kind of the other thing that I've been really lucky is I've got a partner who sees stuff a little bit differently than I do.
Right.
So we basically argue for a living in a constructive way, and it ends up being better than we could have done alone. But yeah, he did Stay Puft.
And then your half-season finale was Steven Spielberg versus Alfred Hitchcock, but also featured cameos from Quentin Tarantino, Stanley Kubrick, and then Michael Bay, which was a brilliant production.
Thanks, man. The season break thing is just because we do a lot of stuff ourselves. We do a lot of, I played 2 characters in that one. I played Michael Bay and Steven Spielberg. I edit. Lloyd edits a lot of behind the scenes. We work on a lot of the Pro Tools stuff ourselves. We do have a team of people, but even our team is small, and we work 7 days a week, and we don't want to burn out.
Right.
We don't want to start compromising. We'd rather take a break, go away for a little bit, but that director's one. That might be my favorite in a way.
When can we expect the beginning of part 2 of season 4?
It's May 25th is the first one that's going to come out. We took a little time because we haven't really taken any time to enjoy what we've built up and go out into the world and meet people and get out from the computer for a minute. So on May 25th, the first new one will come out, and then we're going back to every 2 weeks. So over the summer, and then in the fall, we're going to do a live concert tour. And figure out a way to take these videos that are, driven by these songs and turn it into a performance and go out in the world and meet all these people that kind of change our lives. Like, get that real energy that comes from performing. There's a danger in making YouTube videos because you can edit them forever. And you can edit them by yourself. And you just do that 24 hours a day if you're not careful. So it's good to get out, get up on stage and pretend that we have a little rock star left in us.
Well, when you're doing this tour, when you find yourself in New York City, I would love to have you guys come in studio sometime and talk again.
That'd be awesome. Lloyd is a much funnier dude than I am in interviews. It'd be great. We'll definitely be coming to New York City sometime in the fall.
On your YouTube page and your web page and stuff, you have sections where people can post suggestions for what battles they would like to see, and you guys go through this. How often are you getting approached when people recognize you and say, "Oh, I have an idea for this and this"? Like, when a comic is walking around the street and they have ideas for bits or they have ideas for songs for musicians. Does it get really nagging? Does it take a toll?
It doesn't get nagging. It's still hilarious to me. My cousins at Thanksgiving and my doctor once did it. Or was it my dentist? I don't know. Somebody in my medical professional world, it went back and I was like, "Hey, have you ever thought about maybe doing Hippocrates?" I think that's part of what made it work, man, is that it's not us doing these things. It's us helping bring these characters from people's imagination.
Right.
And we've done a good job of doing it justice. We made a few slip-ups, but for the most part, people want to know what would it be like if Steven Spielberg and Alfred Hitchcock had a rap battle, and we try to show them that. So then it just gets the imagination spinning. It's like, ooh, what would it be like if Xena Warrior Princess and He-Man had a rap battle, which would be fresh, now that I think about it. It captured something. We were a little old enough to know that we couldn't fuck it up. And I'm grateful for that, because I think if I had been younger when it happened, I'd be like, "Oh, whatever. I want to play my guitar. I'm not going to be a rapper." But, as my day job, I'm a rapper.
Well, you guys are definitely at the right place at the right time. You're very on point as far as what attracts different generations, as far as the subjects that you're using, and what transpires across the internet there as far as everybody picking this up. I want to be no different, Peter, because I have two suggestions for you.
Do it. Hit me. You get priority status.
Well, one I'm thinking is, what if you did one with the Battle of Late Night? Because Letterman's going to be gone soon. Leno's already done. You have Conan, who was somebody and dropped down. Jimmy Fallon's the top dog. Craig Ferguson's gone. I mean, you can go in any direction where they're all fighting.
Sure.
Might be a fun angle.
Lloyd would love this. This would be the kind of... Lloyd always wanted to do Conan O'Brien versus Conan the Barbarian. It was like since season 1, he's been clamoring for that.
Right.
He loves the late night show game. To me, I would rather see it against like Johnny Carson. You know what I mean? Or go back.
Have it go back.
Dude.
Jack Parr and Steve Allen show up out of nowhere.
Exactly. So that, to me, is where I would want to go with it, just because it has something that's at least classic.
Right. The other suggestion is, what if you explored somebody throughout their timeline? And the one that came to mind for me was Ice Cube, where if you had NWA Ice Cube fighting with Are We There Yet Ice Cube, and then Barbershop Ice Cube shows up, like all the different stages of his life showing up there and arguing like, who the fuck did you turn into? And then
the evolution of Ice Cube.
Something along those lines. Somebody who's had such a profound history where it's obvious they've, grown and changed from where they started to where they are now.
I think I got an answer for you on that one.
Okay.
An English friend of mine suggested this, of doing James Bond versus James Bond.
Oh my God. Perfect.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, James Bond has so much stuff, and it's all so funny. And this is the style of the old ones versus the style of the new ones. Daniel Craig is so straight-faced.
Right.
I don't know. They could be very funny. Everyone's always wanted us to do Austin Powers versus James Bond, but that's like, it's already making fun of itself.
Yeah.
You can't satire.
If you're doing James Bond and just sitting in the back drinking tea as Johnny English, Rowan Atkinson, that's a little tip of the hat without actually having to do anything with him.
That was another one. I really wanted to do Mr. Bean versus Charlie Chaplin and have the whole thing be silent and see how you could do that. But that's almost just weird for weirdness' sake. Sometimes we pressure to hit a certain amount of volume of people seeing it or views or whatever, and it is nice to just throw that all in and be like, no, let's just make something that we think is very funny. What we're going to try and do these next 6 is just make things, look for suggestions that are just cool. Someone might not be the absolute most popular suggestions out there, but some real history, some funny battles, some interesting videos. That's what we're looking to do. There's a character getting suggested every day to us by the YouTube audience called Freddy Fazbear. Have you heard about him?
No, I've not heard of that.
It's a video game called Five Nights at Freddy's. It's like a Chuck E. Cheese. You're at a Chuck E. Cheese in this video game, and it's haunted.
Right.
These younger audience members are obsessed with wanting us to do Freddy Fazbear versus Chuck E. Cheese in a rap battle. So much so that it actually got me to check it out and even consider doing it.
I've been talking with Nice Peter of Epic Rap Battles of History. You can throw a .com at the end of that and check out what they're all about. Also, go to youtube.com/ERB and subscribe there. They're just about to break 12 million subscribers. The videos are amazing. You're going to get hooked on it. You're going to send them to everybody you know. Nice Peter, Pete Nice, a.k.a. Peter with a million names. Thank you so much for taking the time. Like I said, when you're back, when you're in New York City again, I'd love to have you and Lloyd and your whole crew in to talk about what's going on. And you also have some of your own music that you're touring in 2015?
Yeah, I'm not sure what we're going to include on the tour, to be honest, but I just started experimenting with a podcast. I have a website that's nicepeter.com, and
right.
I've always been fascinated by the world of podcasting. It seems like a great way to talk and connect to people. So if anybody wants to check it out, it's at nicepeter.com.
There you go. Please download that and go support Epic Rap Battles of History.
Do you know about the other Erik Nagel that has a website, eriknagel.com?
No.
Holy shit, this guy is so dorky. I can't believe you've never found this dude.
No.
Because when I was just trying to, do a little extra research, and I stumbled on his website. I was like, this cannot possibly be the same guy.
Nope, not me. I'm the guy, if you search on YouTube, I'm the guy who turned purple and almost died doing the Cinnamon Challenge.
Yeah.
I'm the guy who ruined a birthday party live on Fox News where I took the cake and slammed it into my face.
Very famous. Read all about it. Love it. I was really inspired by the whole story, the whole saga of the Opie and Anthony story. Just like, I don't know, it seems like you guys were never afraid to kind of stand up for what you thought was right. It's amazing. Yeah, it's not. That's definitely. I grew up in Rochester, New York, so I have a total foundational connection to the East Coast.
That's where that's Brother Wee's territory.
Yeah, absolutely. And was it Opie or Anthony used to work on that show?
Opie used to work on Brother Wee's.
Right on.
Peter, thank you again so much. I'm a big fan, and thank you for coming on and taking the time to talk to me.
Thanks, man. It was my pleasure.
It's always fun when you get to do that kind of voice.
Sure.
That was Nice Peter from Epic Rap Battles of History.
He was nice.
He was a very good dude.
Yeah, man.
And then hopefully they're doing a tour this summer, as he said. They're going to be in New York, I think, in the beginning of the fall. So hopefully we can get him and his partner Lloyd in studio as well to talk more about what's going on with them.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Go check it out. Epic Rap Battles of History on YouTube, on the .com, obviously, for their websites, and on Twitter as well.
So they do like a rapping tour? Like they go around rapping? Like
they
a show?
They're doing a live stage show of the battles. With costumes, and then they're also individual musicians, so they're going to do a little bit of their stuff on the tour there and just mix it all together, go around cities around the world and see who enjoys this and get to meet people that are fans, and they don't have to sit in the office all day making these things.
Sounds pretty cool.
So I would like to go out and see that when they're around here. So thanks to Nice Peter. If you want to tweet at him, Nice Peter on Twitter there. Same with the hashtag It's Erik Nagel. You heard him on the show. And you enjoy their stuff, I would appreciate that. We're about to get out of here. We're running a little late, but it happens. Do the plugs, Gittles.
You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram. My screen name is Gittlebase, Gittlebass. And next week, I have a taco takedown. If anyone's in Brooklyn and wants to come out and eat some tacos, we're going to be cooking tacos, and it's going to be the thing to talk about.
Stop saying tacos.
Okay. Taco too much.
Also, I saw you tweeted something that you're looking at trying to get an Xbox.
Well, I haven't had a video game system since GameCube. I'm like, maybe I should join the new world here and play some cool video games. But I don't know what to get because I don't know. I played Super Monkey Ball. I get high and I'm like, oh, I collect bananas. Like, I don't know what's a good system to get from
When
you.
Gittles and I used to live with each other, we used to play that awful Mario game. Sunshine.
Yeah, you played that. I just watched and said, why are you playing that?
Yeah, this is horrible. But then they had Zelda Wind Waker. Windwalker, which was awesome.
Wind Waker, you were right.
Right,
Yeah.
Wind Waker, which was
awesome.
Obsessive. I kept playing that until the end, and they just brought it back for the Wii U. So if you get a chance, if you have a Wii U or whatever, or maybe everyone's looking at me like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'll shut up. But go get that game if you got the Wii U. But you definitely should get an Xbox.
Xbox, that's the consensus.
I think the Xbox
for a non-gamer, like I can have the most fun with an Xbox.
I think you'll have an easier time with an Xbox than you will with a PlayStation, especially if I'll say you're a new gamer.
Yeah,
I think you'll have an easier time with the Xbox.
All right.
Do not get the camera. You don't need the camera. The Kinect is not. Yeah.
This is how much I know about video games. I'm like, there's a camera watching me play video games.
You know what you will enjoy? That you can talk to your Xbox.
Oh, there we go.
You can give it verbal commands to turn it on, change the channel.
I'm gonna yell at it.
It gives you suggestions.
Lewis is giving the thumbs down on that. He doesn't like that.
Why, Lewis?
Come on, Lewis.
I like that the controller has a little speaker with the PS4. I
Oh,
like that little
shit.
speaker. That speaker's kind of cool.
See, Lewis is telling me on the PS4 now. He didn't know that. He didn't tell me the controller was going to speak back
You ever
to
play
me.
Grand Theft Auto?
I have, like the over-the-top one where you like.
Oh, yeah.
It looks like little like fucking Tic Tacs shooting people.
Now when you when you're running from the cops, all their walkie-talkie sounds coming through on your controller.
That's awesome.
There you go.
Not bad.
I'm still telling you to get the
All
Xbox,
right.
but I'll leave it up to you, whatever you decide. I'm on vacation next week, so I have a PlayStation and an Xbox that I got around Christmas time that hasn't been opened or used, so I'm finally going to set this up and explore all the games that I have here.
Wait, hold on a second. We got to get Mikey Piffin here with his video game vacation.
Why was I getting shit about not playing games? He hasn't even took them out of the box.
Because you've had them for years. No, mine are there. They're just not hooked up to the network. They're ready to go.
They're not hooked up to the internet.
No.
Sorry.
They're not hooked up to the wall.
I didn't have a PlayStation account until the other day.
Like
so
the clock can't
auto set. Damn it.
I didn't spend years. I didn't buy everything at once and spend years and then not play it.
No, I've been playing it, just not a lot.
Lies.
I took it out of the
All
box
lies.
and plugged it in.
Lies make baby Jesus cry, Piff.
I don't have any next-gen consoles and no plans of getting one anytime soon, so there you go. I'm the bottom of the barrel.
Matt, what are your plugs?
Geek Stuff OG on Twitter and Instagram. And also, real quick, I just wanted to throw it out there. I have a friend of mine who is a long time, he's a good guy, and he raises money each year for cancer research, and he's doing some auctions on eBay right now where he's auctioning off some toys.
The old Star Wars stuff?
Yeah, he used to work for Hasbro, or he used to work for a PR firm that covered Hasbro, and he's auctioning off all these toys that he's gotten through the years, and all of the money, 100% of the proceeds are going to cancer research. So if you go to eBay and you search for user Celgin013, that's CELGIN013.
We'll tweet it on eRock Radio and Geek Stuff OG.
Yeah, he's got a bunch of different auctions that are going up every couple of days, and he's auctioning off all these like random toys and stuff like that. So, you get a good toy and the money goes to a good cause, so check that out.
Okay. Let's talk to, make sure I have your mics on. I do. My computer here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Plug your podcast. We got to go.
You tell the name of the podcast.
They're panicking.
We are the Audibly Exquisite Podcast. You can find us on Twitter at the AA Podcast. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/
Audibly Exquisite.
You can find us
they're doing
individually.
bits. They're pointing at each other.
I gotta do it. Anyway, I'm at Peter Melnick, PeterMelnick, and you're at
Double Guns to Pete.
Mike _Noren, Noren.
There you go. And Audibly Exquisite Podcast on iTunes. That's what you should have led off with. And then did all the Twitter
That's
stuff
us.
there. But there you go. eRock Radio on Twitter and Instagram for myself. A new project and a new stage of stuff that I'm doing here is going to possibly surface next week, if not the week after. We'll start posting some teasers for it.
Okay.
So follow my Twitter and see what we're doing next.
Well, that's really cryptic for Erik.
Yes.
That is.
It's
Like,
called
I don't know what that is. I feel like I could figure it out.
See,
really
here's
fast.
the old tactic of radio where you do teases and surprises to get people to follow along. But then you get nowadays everyone yelling, at you, "Stop being so fucking vague," because then they're like, you're not giving exactly what it is to the moment you say it to them. Maybe you're teasing something to build up, some suspense, to build up some hype that people are going to want to follow it, not just go, "Here's everything I do," and then everyone ignores it.
Plus, with the vagary, if we never get to it, like a lot of things, no one will ever know.
I know. We have this giant sheet here.
We could just say that we got to it.
Well, maybe we'll have to talk to Mr. Hughes about a third hour.
Yes.
All right. Anyway, and then also at the end of the month, Follow us for that. We're going to be in Miami, June 25th to 28th at Florida SuperCon. And then 2 weeks after that, San Diego Comic-Con, which will be fun. All that's still to come. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Until next time, be seeing you. As a kid, meant a lot. And so when he left, it was like, well, that's a big part of my life that's now ending.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's for me, like I remember growing up on Letterman, right? That was the show that I watched. But at some point in time, even I just stopped watching late night television on a regular basis. And so for me, the impact is like I have this weird nostalgia from, again, being a kid. But even for me, the impact isn't huge because it's kind of like, well, I haven't really watched Letterman regularly in years. So yeah, I'm going to miss the idea of Letterman being there, but actually missing the show. Nah, it's a blip on my radar, but that's about it.
Yeah. Well, this leads me to the New York Post article that I saw yesterday, where they had photos. They quickly started gutting the Ed Sullivan Theater,
everything,
and it wasn't discreet. They showed all.
What did you steal, Eric?
I didn't get a chance to go over there because I wasn't in the city yesterday. It wasn't discreet. They had all the stuff that I guess really meant something to the show being wrapped up and cared for and loaded into trucks. The article was saying that some stuff's going to Letterman, some stuff's going to Paul Schaefer, some stuff I guess is going to some museums that they didn't specify where that stuff is going.
The Smithsonian, probably.
A museum of moving image or something.
Then there were parts of the stage that they didn't wrap up. For example, they brought out the big Brooklyn Bridge that was behind his desk there. They laid it down half on the curb, and there's just photos of a demolition guy stomping on it with his boot and smashing it in half so they could fold it and throw it into the dumpster.
Don't you feel like there was some sort of weird missed opportunity with this stuff that they got rid of? Like they probably could have auctioned it off and given the proceeds to a charity
that was the
or
thing.
something?
In the article also said that maybe because they were ripping out the seats and he had these big blue tiles for the stage. So they were ripping those out and then just chucking them. And then the seats they were ripping out and throwing into the dumpsters and the trucks and what have you. And the article was stating, it's like, this could have been like when Shea Stadium closed down or when they gutted the old Yankee Stadium to make the new Yankee Stadium. Cut these things into 1 and 2 sections, sell them, auction them off to have in your home as part of the Ed Sullivan Theater. Didn't do that.
Yeah, I really, that's weird to me. Like, I kind of feel like in this day and age, like, that's the thing to do. And the fact that they chose, I mean, maybe there's a reason behind it, but it seems like a missed opportunity.
Well, to me, it's like I saw it and I felt like it's like what happens if you die at Disneyland. They just kind of hose off the ride and get it ready for the next person to come in, and that's just how it felt to me.
Letterman's gone. Bring in Colbert.
Exactly. Like, hose it down. We got to get it ready for the new guy.
But it just seems
we got old guys thinking
here. It just seems a bit insensitive. You know, the show just ended, and the next day everything's being destroyed in the street like you're moving, and you just don't want to bring the crappy furniture with you.
The movers should have dressed up like Godzilla and just smashed them.
I mean, did Letterman go out on a sour note with the network, maybe? And this was kind of almost as like a public display of fuck you-ness?
I don't know if he went out on a sour note. I mean, I don't know if they were happy based on the stuff that happened to him like a year or two ago involving the inappropriate relationships with some of the staff members and all that. Right. So maybe they were just, CBS was letting him, you know, go off into the sunset and then quickly scrub it down, get the stank off him, you know?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, yeah. I don't know.
Well, anyway, point was that I thought it was just, they weren't discreet about where they were throwing everything out on the street. They were smashing it up. It just seemed a little bit insensitive. But then I was also mad because, like Gittles said, I didn't get a chance to go over there and take all I could.
Well, maybe that's why they ended on a Wednesday, because Thursday's the recyclable pickup, and they just wanted to make sure that the garbage man would be able to pick it all up.
So they didn't have to pay for the dumpster fees.
Exactly.
Ah, smart.
I was there this morning.
Did you get
yeah, Paul was there.
A friend of mine was there, and he got a sheet of the staff's list of their top 10 that they were throwing out in the garbage.
I got a seat cushion.
Fuck yeah.
Nice.
And they were throwing, the guys who were demolitioning were throwing out bouncy balls all over the road, throwing them at trucks and cars, too.
Jesus. That sounds dangerous.
Where's the seat? Do you have it?
It's in the back office. You want me to go grab it?
Can you go grab it?
Yeah, I'll be right back.
Yeah, go grab it and bring it in here.
I want to see this.
That's kind of awesome.
Seat cushion filled.
It could be anything. It could just be from a crashed plane.
I was tweeting out some Letterman stuff from my life the night before, and one of the things I tweeted out was that when I was working at the WPLJ, the afternoon show, Rocky Allen and the Rocky Allen Showgram used to do some charity benefits once a year from the Ed Sullivan Theater. They would set up the stage and everything right there in Letterman's Theater because he was on vacation, and the first year we did, it was 97. And the stagehands just said, as long as we didn't touch the set, you could do whatever you want. Okay. So I'm walking around. I find this big stack of cue cards in the back, and I just took a bunch of them. And they were the ones I put up there were the ones where they were, had Steven Spielberg on the show. So I'm like, oh, that's awesome. I just took the whole set and put them right there. I still have them. I don't know what to do with them.
Frame them.
I should, maybe, but they're nice. The Morning Mashup was on Letterman a couple of years ago, and they have theirs framed over in the Mashup office there.
Very cool.
Paul just brought in the seat.
I mean, that looks like a seat cushion.
This could have been from any movie theater.
That could have been from anything.
Paul could have went over to the Ziegfeld and just popped this off.
Now,
how much do I have to pay to sit on it?
No, I said 30 years of butt set.
Oh man, that's a lot of butt.
It's filled
smell.
with beer farts.
No.
Did you take a photo of yourself taking it like as a certificate of authenticity, like you grabbing it out of the garbage can? That's how you
No, I took
document
a picture of the dumpster though.
Nice, that's close enough.
Fair
You guys
enough.
can have it if you want.
The dumpster? The dumpster pic?
No,
You
can have
should
it.
have taken a photo or had somebody take a photo of you where you're like sort of a little bit further down the sidewalk, so you have the marquee behind you, and you hold it up like you just won a trophy or something. Like, I stole this.
Proudly showing off your trophy and your wares.
Right.
Like a big game hunter.
I'm going to take a photo of that and then put it up on the Twitter in just a minute here. I can't see the names on the phones, but we'll go at this blind here. Hello, 219.
Hey, Eric, how you doing?
Hey, what's your name?
Tom.
Hey, Tom, how are you?
Good. I'm in Chicago. You guys are doing a great job in the morning, and your show is very. I'm digging it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cool.
Very good. Hey, maybe he bailed on Wednesday. He's heavily invested in Indy cars.
Right.
Letterman. So maybe
Is there something going on this weekend?
the Indy 500.
Oh, okay.
So yes,
maybe that's why.
Yeah, that's just a thought. Him and Bobby Rahal. They got two cars in the field, so just a possibility.
That's what it is. It's what Gittles said. He wanted the long weekend, and there's a race going on. Good for him.
Yep.
All right. Well, I guess that answers it. Thank you so much, man.
All right, buddy. Great show.
All right. I think Jenna is on the phone, so we'll get to her in 1 second. They're taking care of her in the back. Once we're done with Jenna, I'll see if we have some time to come back. I want to get into the Simon Pegg article.
Sure.
I kind of agree with him. If you're not familiar with what this is, he thinks that everybody getting into sci-fi and fantasy and all this stuff has caused this country to regress into being kids your entire life.
I'm fine with that.
He kind of issued.
I'm fine with it, but I do agree with what he's saying. I'm not arguing with the guy.
He kind of issued a statement after that. He wrote this long post on his website where he kind of explains it a little bit. But we'll talk about it.
All right,
we'll talk about it.
I think Jenna's on hold here, so let's get to her. Jenna Marbles.
Hey guys, how's it going?
How are you?
How's it going?
Hello.
I'm great. Thanks for having me on the show.
Welcome to the program here, and you're no stranger to SiriusXM as you do the YouTube 15 on Hits
I
1.
do. We're family.
Yes, I think her show just ended as we started.
It did, yeah.
All right. Jenna, I wanted to talk to you because when they brought you on board with SiriusXM and especially with Hits 1, to be honest, I was a little confused. I'm like, I didn't see how this works. Like, because Jenna is a big YouTube star, how this was translating to what Hits 1 does. But getting a chance to hear what you do and hear that hour, you're not really playing anything that's normally on that channel, which I like, because I like Hits 1, but she goes into some weird directions with the music that she plays. She's a big fan of Korean pop music, which is kind of cool.
Nice.
But I've seen, listened to the show week after week, that I'm starting to get now what you're doing here, and it's an awesome show.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it. And I agree. I was in the same boat. I'm like, you guys, is this a serious thing? You guys really want to have a radio show about internet music? Because that could go south really quickly.
I like how Jenna's saying that they forced her to do this.
No, not at all. I was like more than happy and so excited. And it's been about a year now, and I've just been like over the moon. It's a really fun, awesome, high energy show, and we get to play stuff that you would never usually hear on the radio, which is fantastic.
Just letting you know, your boss Mikey Piff is here, so let's not get out of hand.
No, it's fine.
Mikey!
No, we're cool. We're besties now.
Nice.
Aww. We keep each other in line.
Jenna, I got to ask, going through, we're going to talk about your videos and the worldwide fascination about what it is that you do. How did you get started with this? Because you were just throwing random videos of you, I guess, being you, or are you kind of amped up on these videos?
Well, I mean, I'm definitely amped up a little bit. There's a time and a place. Like when people meet me, they're like, "Oh, you're a calm, normal person," and not like just standing and swearing at me nonstop. Of course not. Like, you're a little bit more exaggerated in your videos. But I got started by just like sort of uploading things. I didn't really know that YouTube was a community, that people could watch it or find it or anything like that. So it was kind of by accident, and I mean, no regrets. It's been pretty sweet.
From the first video that you put out there, you started doing this, 2011?
Yeah, around 2010, 2011, somewhere around there.
So the first video you put out, it does okay, and you're doing okay for a while. What was it that popped that all of a sudden the internet was all over everything you were doing?
It was a video called "How to Trick People into Thinking You're Good Looking," and it was, it was a viral video, and I had to like call my parents and tell them what was happening. I'm very much a product of that happening. It wasn't like a slow climb. It sort of was like all of a sudden people like wanted to watch my videos, I guess.
Well, pretty blonde girl doing stupid stuff and using voices and talking about these subjects that you wouldn't expect her to be talking about. Of course, everyone's going to go, "Look, I'm fascinated with this girl." Every Wednesday she puts out something that she could be batshit crazy. I don't know, but I'm enthralled and I can't stop watching this.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's happening either. So,
Jenna Marbles on the YouTube there. Your Twitter is Jenna_Marbles. Who has Jenna Marbles on 57th? We had these people on. It was some web show that they were trying to bring to TV. Nobody remembers. I think it's had Felicia Day in it. Quarter Life, something. Oh, God damn it!
Are you talking about the Guild?
No, it's not the Guild. It was something else. It was some kind of YouTube thing. That
wasn't
they were
the
trying,
video game one.
Oh,
okay.
No, it was some kind of YouTube show that they were trying to bring to television, and it didn't do well.
Okay. Did it actually come to television and then fail?
I think it's something with NBC. I'm gonna have to look it up and report back to you later.
Okay.
But I want to talk about that too, because making the transition from YouTube to television, huge step. Didn't work in that particular instant, but could be paving the way for other things to come.
Well, I think making the step from YouTube to network television is hard, but going from like YouTube to maybe like Spike, I think that's probably doable.
Oh,
in
definitely.
certain shows.
Do you have the phone mouse over there by any chance?
I have a phone mouse that says "call screener" on it.
That might be it. Thank you. I was
No
looking for
problem.
that. Otherwise, we couldn't talk to the lovely Jenna Marbles in a few minutes.
Oh, well, that would be bad.
Where do we want to go before? Oh, great.
Jeez.
Everything's falling
Eric, you're
apart.
breaking
Where do we
everything.
want to go before
Jeez, this is
Jenna
why we
calls in?
Wherever you want to go.
We could do Simon Pegg. Well, let's talk about Letterman real quick and then go into Simon Pegg.
Yes, let's talk about Letterman.
So this week was the last show for The Late Show with David Letterman. It ended on a Wednesday, and it was funny because I was in the office the other day and I hear Jay Thomas walking around here yelling, goes, "Who the hell retires on a Wednesday?" And I was like, that's a good point. Who does retire on a Wednesday?
David fucking Letterman, that too.
Exactly. So he did his last show. Foo Fighters was the musical guest. It was a night. They actually went 18 minutes long. So it was an hour and 18 minutes.
That's why they got canceled.
Program. Because, all the advertising that they missed out on. Did the whole show, and it wasn't, there was a lot of montage, a lot of build-up, but his send-off kind of, I don't think, had the impact like when Johnny Carson ended. Like when he was just sitting there in the center of the stage on a stool saying, "I bid you a heartfelt goodnight to America." There was some kind of like big emotional impact with that. It became one of those historical marks in television. Letterman ending the way he did was nice. I don't think it really, there was no like oomph to it. There was nothing that really got to you, that the fact that he was leaving.
I think that's partially because of the culture of television now. I think when Carson ended, Carson was it, right, for late night TV. Like that was what everybody watched. Now with late night TV, you have Letterman, you had Fallon, right? And then in addition to that, you also have whatever's on AMC, whatever's on HBO, whatever's on...
Yeah, and you have the internet, and you can just go on YouTube and watch old clips. Like when Carson ended, it was like, that was it. Like they didn't have VHSs of the Carson shows. You couldn't just go back and watch it.
So I kind of feel like with the fragmented audience and just the way that television works, it has less of an impact when someone like that goes.
I guess, and you know what? It's
historic.
Carson ending was, the ending of an era for a lot of people in this country, and Letterman also is for the younger generation. But because everything, like you said, is so fractured, I don't think it had. I don't know, maybe the respect it deserves for what he did and that he was going out. A lot of the news, it made the news and all the rounds through, those little entertainment programs and things like that. He was everywhere, all this stuff going on. But when it did finally end, it was like a lot of the young people in this country were like, I don't care.
Right.
And it was probably that weird line now that the millennial stuff just doesn't give a shit about anything that happened before they were born. And people like you and me, who I watched late night growing up. Okay, we got it. Welcome to It's Erik Nagel.
In the song.
Yes, for dramatic effect. Welcome to It's Erik Nagel. That is me. 866-969-1969 is the phone number to get in touch with the program. E-Rock Radio on Twitter and Instagram. You can get in touch with us social media wise and many, many other ways. Just call the show.
Just do it.
Do that. Joining me always is my co-host, Matt OG.
Hello.
How are you?
I am lovely. How about yourself?
Geek Stuff OG on the Twitter and Instagram, and my buddy Gittles.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Gittle Base on the Twitter and Instagram. What do you think of the new studio?
It's fancy. Studio is fancy. I like it.
This is pretty fucking awesome.
It looks like a planetarium.
Planetarium.
And it has more space, which I like.
Space in the planetarium.
Oh,
hey,
look at you.
Oh, you two didn't even high five on that one.
No.
We're sitting too close.
That would have been awkward.
No, it's great. You know what? I'm going to move this away from the board.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Don't ruin the place.
That, I'd laugh.
Spilling things on the board is not my job here.
You like that character from that old Nickelodeon show? Remember that with like the security guard that was the mouse, and he'd always spill coffee?
Today's Special.
Yes, that horrible show.
Oh God,
Sam Crenshaw.
Yes,
and the mouse was
Muffy.
Dick. Muffy the Mouse.
I just remember the mannequin came to life.
Also a Canadian show was shot in Toronto.
A lot of those Nickelodeon shows were Canadian, weren't they?
Because they bought, it was called the Pinwheel Network.
Yeah.
And they bought Pinwheel and everything else from them.
Right.
Brought it to the United States as the Pinwheel Network and then switched it over to Nickelodeon. And they just absorbed anything that had to do with kids programming from Europe and Canada, just got absorbed into this network.
Good on them.
Right.
Awesome.
So
it sculpted our futures.
A lot to do on the show today. Probably not enough time to do everything, like always. Maybe that third hour is looking at us around the bend at some point.
Hopefully.
This summer, who knows. On the show today, Jim Kelly, famous NFL quarterback, and his daughter Erin. They have a book called Kelly Tough, #Kelly Tough. They will be on the program today promoting that and some of their foundations and charities that they're all about. YouTube sensation and Sirius XM Hits 1 host Jenna Marbles.
Nice.
She will be calling in probably in about 15 minutes.
Look at Lewis. Lewis is so happy in there. He's just
partying
dancing
in the booth.
Anytime there's a pretty white girl, Lewis goes crazy.
Look at yep, he's not denying it.
So Jenna will be on the show in a little bit, and later in the program, this is exciting for me. The guys from Epic Rap Battles of History.
Yes,
they will be here. We'll talk to them about all their stuff. They're brand new. I don't want to say new half season. It's kind of like what AMC does. They do a few episodes and then they wait for a while, shoot the rest, and then do another.
Right.
This is the second half of season 4, which starts, I think the 25th is Monday, right?
Yes.
Yes. Let's go with that. Monday, the 25th, is when their new part of season 4 is going to take place. Plus, there's a tour and all this other stuff that they're going to talk about, and we'll get into that a little bit later.
You just blew my mind when you said there's seasons on YouTube shows. Like, I had no idea that there were seasons on YouTube shows.
Apparently, they started it because nobody was doing it in a season format other than, like, look, the season format in the United States is different from what they do over in the UK. They do those 6-episode, 12-episode seasons, or they do half seasons. Then they started doing it here. Nobody was doing it on YouTube. They started to do it, and it actually worked out. Instead of shooting stuff for 22 weeks straight, they just do a little bit here, put it out, and their numbers went through the roof.
Yeah, it's smart.
Yeah, I think Felicia Day did it with The Guild, too. I think that was done in seasons. There's like 5 or 6 seasons of that show, too. And that was, I think it started on YouTube and then eventually migrated elsewhere. But
cool.
We had on Opie and Anthony a while ago while we were still at the XM facility.